This is a story of how I quit my 9 to 5 job and moved to work on a farm in the middle of nowhere to eat raw meat and drink raw milk instead. And it started this way. I didn't actually have a 9 to 5 job. It was worse. I was a phone salesman. I would call people on the phone and I will tell them, hey guys, would you like to buy our service? It wasn't technically 9 to 5. I chose my own time to work, but that's worse than 9 to 5. You never want to be a phone fucking salesman. So let me get into some details of me cold calling people. Well, first, I try to brainwash myself that I'm the Wolf of Wall Street and I will to look at the. Do you know the speech? Like, I don't know if you've seen the movie. Don't watch it. It's satanic. It has sex scenes. It's disgusting. It's peak. How do you call it? Peak Hollywood production from these people with the big noses. It's full of. It's degenerate. But there is this one scene when the protagonist makes a speech to his employees. Like, are you poor? Good. Pick up the phone and start dialing. Like, call to people and sell them something on the phone. Like, is your landlord ready to evict you? Good. Pick up the phone and start dialing. So what I did, before each time, I would pick up my phone and I would call people and try to sell them some useless shit. I would literally watch the scene of him making the speech every single time. And also, what I did is I bought kratom. I bought a white kratom and I took it pretending it was cocaine. Because in the movie they did cocaine, so I did a white kratom because white kratom is more stimulating than the green kratom. I was pretending I'm doing cocaine by drinking kratom. And I was actually very disappointed because white kratom is still green. But yeah, the effects, I was very high up the kratom. So I was taking kratom and brainwashing myself to think I'm Wolf of Wall Street and trying to sell phone tariffs to people. It was laughable. Oh yeah, and the kratom. First time I took the kratom, I had diarrhea and sickness and acne from it. And afterwards, I got accustomed to it. But I got addicted to it in 3 days and I felt completely terrible without it. So after I recognized I got addicted, I immediately stopped using it after like 3 days, after like 3 doses. And I had disgusting, terrible, how do you call it? Withdrawal symptoms. I was shaking, crying. The kratom is a disgusting drug. I never want to see it again in my life. No. Another thing, yeah. How it went is that all people, no people wanted to call with me, obviously. When someone calls you to buy stuff, you don't want to buy. And yeah, why the hell did I even take this such a job? Well, I was selling phone tariffs. I believed I will make a lot of money, but why it actually made a little bit of sense that I could make some money is that I was selling phone tariffs, and not only phone tariffs with like data and some other mobile services, and I will be calling entrepreneurs with like entrepreneurial official bullshit. So richer people, and I wouldn't be trying to sell one phone tariff. I will be calling someone who has a company with like 20 phone tariffs, 20 phones. And I had access to way lower prices than you can access on the market. So if you have 20 phones in your company and someone can give you 20% lower price, then you can save 20% on 20 tariffs and that's significant money. So it wasn't complete nonsense to make money into the job. And my friend who got me into it, I believe he does make a lot of money doing this. But I was completely inexperienced, and yeah, I went there and I took like 2 weeks of doing some bullshit courses, like learning some information about the company, about their, how do you call it, their administration and whatever, but absolutely zero education on how to be actually a good salesman. Then there was several weeks, then I also had to go halfway across the country to get a computer. Then I went on schooling, which was like 1 week long. Again, administration and bullshit, but no training on how to be a good salesman. Now, after a few months of preparation, waste of time, I knew how to operate administration, but I had no clue how to be a salesman, so I tried to call people. Literally, like, hi, I'm from this company and I want to sell you something. Or, hi, will you... Or I want... Yeah, I literally said, I'm from this company and I want to make you money. It was so bad. So terrible. So instead of working during my shifts, it was commission based, so I was making no money, only if I closed something. So I spent my days like this. Like, what do I do to make these people not send me to ass whenever I call them? And this is so funny, like a raw meat eater who is anti-slavery doing this job, so funny. And I was watching YouTube videos on cold calling, like what is the best line? And like I was like how to call in order for these people to not slam the phone on you. And I actually educated myself very well, and eventually I actually became somewhat good at cold calling. And first, for most people, I will, instead of like, hi, I'm this guy from this company and I want to sell you, no, or like, I'm this guy from this company and we have better prices than otherwise. No, that's bullshit. What I found the most, where most people were willing to listen to me, and I'm like, is that Mr. Jones? Yeah, oh, Mr. Jones. Hey, hi, this is Jirka. Look, you're going to hate me, but no, how did I say it? In English, you're going to hate me, but this is actually a cold call. And in Czech, I said, you're going to hate me because I'm from this telephone company, which is very known. Like, look, you're going to hate me. I'm from this telephone company. Do you want to hang up? Or will you give me 20 seconds and decide later? Or I said it even like I said it even better, like even more understanding that they want to hang up. Like, do you want to hang up right away? Or do you want to give me 20 seconds and hang up after? And if you say this, if you say anything else, if you say, hi, am I from this company? They will not give a fuck. If you tell them, look, you're going to hate me because I'm from this company. Do you want to hang up right away? Or will you give me 20 seconds and hang up afterwards? Then they will laugh, they will find it funny, and they will be willing to speak to you, and you will literally feel them smiling through the phone, because it's original. I've heard many good responses from this kind of cold line. And when there was a gatekeeper, so yeah, there's this fucking dungeon synth ass terminology, gatekeeper, like fucking night guarding the gate. That's when you call someone, and instead of calling the person who makes the decision about buying the phone tariffs, you get someone like a secretary or assistant or something. So I always like, look, you're going to hate me, I'm from this company. No, they will hang up. Look, I want to talk with your boss. No, they will hang up. So what I did is another thing I learned on YouTube, and it was very funny. It was, I would call, and let's say I'm calling George, and I will call, like someone, assistant of George will hang up, will not hang up, he will like pick up the phone. And I will not even say the last name of George, like, I will not say, is Mr. Johnson there? No, I will say, is George there? And he was like, who's calling? And I'm like, tell him it's Jirka, thank you. Like, I'm saying, is George there? Like, I'm saying his first name, and then I'm saying, tell him it's Jirka. Like, it creates an illusion that I know that person, and they will like, it's very easy to get past a gatekeeper. But yeah, I was able to get past gatekeepers this way, but then the person which I called, they usually didn't give a fuck, so it didn't matter because they still didn't want to buy anything. But I was actually pretty good. But the administration of when you get someone, basically you get what kind of tariff they have, so you can give them a similar one, their address for Wi-Fi, their whatever, their details, and you go into the administration, into the software of the company, and you need to do this long ass disgusting process of you put this person there, then you need to block him to yourself so no one else can sell him anything, then you need to do a verification, then you need to do this, then you need to create an order, then you need to create an activity so it shows that you are active on that profile and no one steals your sale, and then you need to do that. It's so disgusting and it takes so long. So what I did, I got my coworker who got me into the sales job, and instead of doing this, yeah, also, you create an offer, you send them an email, and afterwards you are supposed to call them, like, have you seen the email and do you want to buy, and whatever. I was just absolutely uneducated on how to sell people like that. All I did, it took me months or a month to learn to cold call, and now I had to learn to close the calls and do shit like that. So I wanted to make money right away. So no, I didn't do that. So I just got to my coworker and I told him, look, I will give you emails and contacts and the tariffs of people who I cold call who want to buy, and you will do the rest. I will get less money, but I will have more time for cold calling, which I'm better at. So overall, we will all make more money, or at least, yeah. I did that, but I had a lot of I had some results. I did make some money. I made almost no money actually. A lot of people actually liked my cold calls and whatever, but then I would give the information to that guy, and then shit would happen, like they couldn't buy, they changed their mind, or they went to the store and they bought the thing without us, and nonsense basically. So I didn't get that much people to buy, and afterwards, when I got the money, the coworker only gave me 10%. So I cold called someone, he wanted to buy, he did the rest of the work, and I got 10% from it. So I made it took me months of preparation and then month or more of trying to call, and I made, I don't know, bro, less money than I would make working in a supermarket for 2 days. Incredible life experience. Incredible. Majestic, fantastic, absolutely, how do you call it? Fascinating. What a grain set arc, whatever the fuck, yeah. So I was in this kind of slavery, and I looked at the sun outside, and I felt like, look, bro, this is literally slavery. I'm not doing this anymore. And getting another normal job, that was not an option for me anymore. So I was just, look, there is sun outside, it's the spring, I want to work in the sun, so I will find a work on a farm. So, I made a video on how to find a work on a farm, and I did just that. I joined every farmer group on Facebook. Actually, I was there already, because that's where I find my raw milk sources. So I was in all groups on Facebook, and I made a advertisement of myself, like, look, I'm looking for a job and living on a farm. And 20 people, or no, literally 30 or more people came back to me, so I could work on a farm. So, for first, anything else I could, yeah, I got a ton of responses, and the first, which I replied to, not first, I replied to all of them because good manners, optimal, good manners. So I replied to all of them, but eventually I picked mountain. I picked Boda Klinovka in Czech Republic. It's a cabin in the mountains, in the highest placed farm in Czech Republic, where it's 1,200 meters or more above sea level, and they have Highlander cows. Highlander cows are basically cows who have this kind of haircut. They have this kind of hair color, hair thickness, and haircut, basically. They look like me, but cows. And they had these for meat. So I went there, and I'm glad I was there. I'm glad I've seen the mountains. It was completely beautiful. The horizon, the city at the horizon, it was so cool to experience what it is like being in the mountains. Though problem is I didn't take much clothing because it was the spring, and I didn't take... and I actually had bags with my stuff, and I didn't want to take a jacket and stuff because it takes up too much space, and I didn't have a backpack ever. I just had a few bags. So I was very cold during that. That was unpleasant. But the worst thing is I didn't take my beautiful hat in there. Instead, I took the thing you put over your hair, so your hair stares to your forehead. I'm like, what do I need a hat for? I grow my hat from my hair. So I just had my hair around my face like hell, and it wasn't enough. I was getting cold, my head would get cold, and afterwards, when your body tries to warm up, I would feel like I have a fever each time my body tried to warm up from the cold temperature. Quantum biologists would say it's healthy, but your body tells you it feels like fever and it's unpleasant, bro. Get a fucking hat so we don't have to warm up your head in order to not freeze to death. Holy shit. Yeah, ultra interesting thing which happened on my way there is I offered on the Facebook like I can help with social media of the farm where I'm going to be at if they have any, and I was practicing like I seen this video of this woman changing a tire and she says Ashley people keep asking me Ashley how do you change a tire. I don't know and my name is not even Ashley, but I know that our company is the best, and when someone makes a reel like that they make so much fucking they get so much views. It's so popular that it's trending. People who copy it usually win. So I was practicing that I could do something similar for that farm because they had like a cabin and a restaurant and whatever, and I would be practicing like, hey Pavel, how do you do XY? Well, I don't know, but and my name is not even Pavel. But what I know is that at the Boda Klinovka we have the best view or place for marriage or restaurant ever, or whatever. I would literally be practicing. Oh, I don't know. And my name, people ask me, "Hey Pavel," and I'm not even Pavel. I would be practicing this. Then during the on my way there, and the way there was really epic. The sun was setting. I was walking uphill. It was several kilometers in distance, like a long distance, and it was uphill, strictly uphill, and I had like bags, and it was it was so cool, such a journey. It was like straight from a Tolkien movie. So goddamn cool, going through the rivers and streams in the mountains, holy hell. But I went there after practicing with, hey Pavel, I'm not even Pavel. I will literally be saying the name Pavel. I came to that cabin, and a guy came there who was working there, who was supposed to like let me into my accommodation. And he came to me and he was like, yo, what's up? I'm Pavel. How? What is the chance of that happening? Like, it's a common name, so it's not impossible, but that's still so goddamn interesting. Holy hell. So, yeah, the people there were really cool and friendly, all the employers. Yeah, I remember though, there were a lot of chemtrails, and I will be talking to people looking at sunset, and they were like, oh, what a beautiful sunset. And I'm like, the fake clouds make it look ugly. And they look at the fake clouds covering the sunset, and they're like, what fake clouds? My fucking god, these people, why do they have eyes inside of their head? What for? They don't even use them. Man. So, yeah, there was this guy, the boss. He was very tall, he was very heavy, he was like thick, farmer strength, he was very strong. He was tan already because there is very high UV light in that elevation. Like, even when it was very cold, like 1200 meters above ground in spring, it was more UV in perception wise than in summer on a normal elevation, because I would get sunburned easily, and it would just feel like it burns your skin. Like, even if I wasn't burning, it just felt like aggressive. The UV light felt aggressive, and it felt really good. I really loved it. The UV light, it was strong. The boss was tan already in the spring, and he always had shorts, even in the winter, so a lot of cold exposure. Pretty cool guy. He was into fasting and spiritualism. Then he had a son who lived in the mountains in a cabin for his entire life, and he was like 5 times below the mountains in the city, in the town down there. But all of his life he's just up there in the mountains, in one cabin, in one single place, watching Breaking Bad or being on Twitter or whatever. And yeah, he was very anti-Semitic. He was all of the great noticing things which you have on Instagram, like noticing people with big noses and noticing I should say less so I don't get assassinated. But you know, certain historical events and who rules the. He basically knew that. He never was out. He was always in the mountains. He never was in civilization. He was only on the internet and in his cabin in the mountains and helping out with the cattle. And he was aware of all of the modern noticing things. It was very interesting. And he watched like Breaking Bad. And he was so simple-minded. So beautiful. Such a cool person. Yeah. And then, what food did I have there? Raw meat from the Highlander cows. Grass-fed Highlander cows, really good meat. It was frozen. However, Agnes talked about animals which are completely used to living in very cold environments, like mountain goats or something like polar animals, mountain goats, seal, whatever. They can be eaten frozen because their meat is used to getting frozen, their tissues. So these Highlander cows, it's very cold up there even in the summer, and they are used to living there in the winter. So their meat is completely fine to eat frozen. Even if it wasn't, then even if their meat wasn't damaged by freezing, because it was some other breed of cow or something, still, eating frozen meat is literally better than dying of hunger. So I ate frozen meat because it was there, it was available. And I had a lot of it. I had organs, I had kidneys, I had liver. How it sounds like paradise. However, no source of fat, no raw milk. Only source of fat was raw eggs. I had no brain, no bone marrow, no sweat, only lean meat and raw eggs. Without the raw eggs, I would straight up be dying from rabbit starvation. And with the raw eggs, it wasn't much better because I didn't have that much of it. And really, you need like 24 eggs to make it, to have enough fat as one stick of butter. And I can eat like one stick of butter every time I eat a meat meal. And I could eat like 10 eggs a day, that's like 50 grams of fat, that's nothing. So I was completely starving and I felt bad. And I had like no erections because I was working hard in the hard physical labor, and I was starving at the same time eating only protein. So at some point I felt so bad. I was so hungry. I had to eat their cooked food full of fat. I picked the two fattiest foods on their menu and I ate them all over and over again. It's like tlachenka, just like boiled pig's meat with like a bunch of collagen and fat, and then like pig fat sauce, not sauce, but pig fat spread over a bread, which is homemade. So I was eating these two non-stop. Like, bro, can I have 10 breads and 10 tlachenkas? Like, I was eating so much you couldn't believe it, bro. And then, yeah. And then I also had like small beer, and it was very cool, like eating all of that fat. And I just talked about people being alcoholics because the alcohol actually helps you to break down cooked fats and cooked protein. So sometimes when I eat a bunch of, it happens once every few years, but when we cook like homemade sausages in the village, then I eat them, like smoked sausages, and I drink some beer or some alcohol with it because the alcohol can help you break down the cooked fats. Now, I'm not saying drink alcohol to digest cooked fats better every day. That's too much alcohol, but once per year or whatever, be my guest. So I had that, and I had a small beer, and I was just looking at the mountains, at the horizon, at the sunset, with full of fat, drinking small beer, which was made from some mountain water or some shit. It was such a good memory. It was really cool. But yeah, I was dying, I was starving. Once I got honey, like straight from the beehive, and I ate all of it. Like, I was in ketosis for months at that point, and it were the first carbs I had in months, and I just ate like kilogram of honey in one sitting because of how carb starved I was. But the lack of fat was beginning to be an issue. Yeah, what kind of work I did there? There was this stream with water above the road, and if too much water gets in there, then the water gets like on the road, and the stones from the road get like down, and then we have to get the stones back for some reason. So I was having the stream. I got some shoes, how do you call it? Like these shoes which you can take in the water. And I would be digging for a week straight, trying to make for 7 hours a day. Let's say, digging the stream to make it wider so it can fit more water and it doesn't go overboard. And yeah, then the lack of fat was beginning to be an issue, and at the same time, I found a farm where they wanted me to work, and the person from that farm, I will call her witch, which will be apparent why soon. She saw my Instagram post or something, and she was like, "Wow, you eat raw meat? Me too." And I was like, do you know that gif of Lego Batman with that, "I just died in your arms tonight"? that me. I was like that. Like, there is a woman who eats raw meat who wants me to work on her farm. And she was pagan as well. You see, I worship Odin, and she worshipped Tyrannus, who is like Thor, and Thor is like son of Odin. So, same religion, and she ate raw meat, and she wanted me to work there on a farm. Anything else I can say about the mountains? Yeah. I had this opportunity to be there, and at the same time, I was either starving from not having fat in the mountains, or when I would eat only available sources of fat, then they would be full of salt. And maybe the mountains were so cool I could do that there, but eat the cooked fat, maybe I could do it for the experience, whatever, but the foods were so full of salt, it gave me headaches. So, because salt causes headaches, if you don't know, I just talked about it extensively, like, I don't know how, before, when I was in the raw meat space, everyone knew Agenus, like, there were like 10 people on the internet who ate raw meat, and everyone knew everything which Agenus said about salt, about water, about anything. But nowadays, there are tens or hundreds of thousands of people who eat raw meat and who watch raw meat YouTubers. And most of these people are like, "Oh yeah, I saw some guy eat raw meat from TikTok, so I eat raw meat." And I just don't know how much from Agenus do these kind of people know. So I will say these things over and over again, because a lot of you guys probably don't know. And I'm brainwashed. I literally, before raw meat used to be mainstream, before Excellent Health had a channel, like 5 years ago when I started to consume raw meat, the only raw meat material was Agenus Wonder Plants, and everyone, including me, listened to his workshops all the time. So yeah, salt causes headaches. And even if it was placebo, I got headaches from the salt. And I remember getting headaches in this part of my head, like above my left eye, my entire childhood. And ever since I quit salt and I went on primal, then I don't have these headaches. And when I'm primal, but I still eat foods with salt, I get my headaches above my left eye. It was unpleasant. So eat rapid starvation or headaches from the fat, or eat carb, whatever. Why would I make a choice which would make me sacrifice part of my diet when I could go work for a MILF who eats raw meat, is pagan, and I will have fat, raw meat, I will have raw milk as well, and even some game like boars and stuff. So I went there, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It wasn't a healthy thing for me to do. I'm not saying it was okay for me to do or whatever. I'm not saying it's normal behavior, but I literally fell in love with her just from her telling me about herself, like knowing that she's a pagan farmer who eats raw meat. That was enough for me to fall in love with her before I knew how she looked, before I knew what her personality is like before I just felt like I'm going to. I didn't feel like oxytocin or whatever, but I just knew instinctively that when I come there, I will literally fall in love with her and try to get her. And I came there aware of that. And also there was this another person on that farm. It was also a woman. So I was like, 2 women and 1 man. Yeah, cool. That's going to be fun, I guess. So I went there, and in order to like, not waste 20 hours renting, I wrote it into points so I don't get lost. So, yeah. Yo, what's up? My camera stopped recording, probably because of how hard I was laughing. And what the hell was I psychically laughing so much at? In my notes, I have like point, like underscore, and like two women with horses. And I just read two women with horses. And I'm like, it was completely honest. If I read two women with horses in this context, then I fucking, bro, that cannot end well. If you have two women with horses, so on a paper, then that's going to go downhill. yeah. After end of this video, you will understand me. Bro, two women with horses. So, one of them was 37, pagan, and ate raw meat, and the other one was like a normal person, and they both liked horses or whatever. So, what happened is, as I told you, as I told you that I anticipated will happen, I completely fell in love with the woman who was 37. And I'm like 20, 20 at that point already. Or was I 19? No, I believe I was 20 already. Yeah, but whatever. I met with a person and I fell in love with her in a matter of like days of meeting her. And I'm absolutely aware that's not a healthy thing to happen, but it happened. And what eventually turned out in a few days is that she had a bunch of lovers. She had like 7 or so lovers with whom she was sleeping. And what's even more disgusting is that the other woman who was there, she was in a relationship with one of her lovers. So this one guy had them both, and at the same time, the guy who had them both had more women, and the older woman had more men to her, and it was just, you want to stay away from this. And I was like, oh, okay, maybe it's not the best thing ever to be in love with this person. Oh fuck, where the hell did I get? And in a few days, 2 of these lovers came, and then another friend who is like homosexual. I'm not insulting him. I believe he was literally homosexual. It was told to me by the woman. And then we were sitting by this campfire after like knowing each other and working for some days and whatever. And letting me live in this we call it the Maringotka. Basically, it's like room on wheels. It's like big rectangle from wood in which you can like get some wood and like fire how do you call it, kamna. Basically the metal thing with fire, and you can sleep in there. It's really cool. I had a window, I seen the stars, I could sleep also. It was really cool. But we were next to this campfire, and we went to this campfire, and here is the one woman cuddling with one of the older woman's lovers, and in the other corner, there is this woman I am in love with cuddling with another person. And then there is this guy, this homosexual, who is pouring meat and alcohol, like the honey alcohol, into the cups of both of these chads cuddling with the woman and to the woman. Like, absolute beta cuck. Like, 2 guys cuddling with the woman, and he's giving both the woman both the men alcohol, while he's like a slave. He's just there outside in the background getting cucked. And I was there getting cucked myself. I was sitting next to a campfire alone, looking at them like them cuddling. It looked very unpleasant considering I was literally in love with one of these women. So I was just sitting there silently, staring at the fire. And one of the lovers asked me, "So, how do you like it here on this horse farm?" And I'm like, "You know, when I came here, I liked it here. But I think I'm going to leave tomorrow because I don't enjoy being a cuck." I literally said that, and then I went to my Maringotka to sleep and shit, to just go away from there. I didn't want to be there. And afterwards, the woman told me that I pissed them off, and they were debating whether to come to my Maringotka to beat me up. And by the way, if that happened, I don't have it here, but basically I have baton at myself, telescopic baton, which is like behind your belt, and you can just open it, and when you hit someone, it will break his. When you hit someone here, you will paralyze him, and he will not be able to use his side and arm of this part. And if you hit him like once, he's done, no matter how much fighting experience he does or something. Basically, weapons beat experience beats muscle, and weapons can beat experience. Or maybe I would get killed if these people wanted to try to hurt me, and I'm just insecure and trying to convince you that I will defend myself with my weapon. I don't know. I don't really care what you think. I honestly believe I could be able to defend myself if I could reach for my baton quick enough, but it's possible that I could get my ass beat. Okay, whatever. It could have happened, sure, but it didn't. Whatever. So yeah, I pissed them off, and then they left, and in the end, I decided to not leave, even though I was literally getting cucked. There was a woman I was in love with who was not even a lover, but lovers. So I still stayed there because it was so fucking beautiful in there. Like the place I was staying at and sleeping. And there was like the highest placed castle in Czech Republic. It was on the horizon, and there was like the full moons being behind the castle, and the horses, and the hills, and it looked like straight out of Hobbit. And then they also had like a hotel or something, which were like cabins, like apartments, and they had like pagan symbolism, like runes and Celtic symbol, whatever. It was just very beautiful there. So despite being a cuck, I decided, okay, my life will be pretty fun if I stay here. So I stayed there for several months. Now, I wasn't getting money, I was getting meat from the butchery, and sometimes meat from like wild pigs. It was very cool. And then I was getting a ton of raw milk. Jersey milk. If you know Jersey milk, if you take all of cream of Jersey milk, then the leftover with no cream will still feel fattier than like a liter of Jersey milk with no cream has probably more fat in it than a liter of normal milk with cream. It's so fatty. Like Jersey milk tastes so much better, it has so much more fat, and it's A2 as well. And when you ferment it to make it into kefir, then in normal milk you will usually get cottage cheese swimming in whey. If you ferment Jersey milk, it almost never turns into cottage cheese swimming in whey. It's so thick, it always turns into yogurt. It always is solid and never liquid. It's so goddamn good. It has like when I make cheese from it, there is more cheese and less whey, less water from the Jersey milk. I was getting this, and it costed them like $1 per liter of milk. So I had so much of it. So good. They would like buy 40 liters of milk at a time, and we would store it in these glass jars. It was so cool. I love it. What memories. So much milk. Goddamn yeah. Wow. Good. Get the Jersey milk. Before I die, I want to have a farm with Jersey milk. Like, your goal in life should be to have access to Jersey milk, because drinking Jersey milk, you don't need to worry about anything else. It's like every meal you have ice cream. That's how Jersey milk tastes. It's so good, even if it's fermented. Now, what else? I left 2 times. Once because I had to do some stuff at home, And afterwards, I was meant to get some money for the job I do there. And afterwards, they countered it like, sorry, but we didn't have much job, much work, so we paid you a lot of food, so actually you didn't make that much money. They gave me almost nothing. So I'm like, okay. So I get it actually. There wasn't that much work compared to the food I was eating. Next time, I had this other friend. I have YouTube video about it. It's this Hare Krishna guy on a farm. It's like the second YouTube video on my channel, or I don't know, something like that. It's a Hare Krishna video. And a guy called me, like, hey bro, I fucking need you right now on my farm because we are friends, you worked for me before, I would really use you, like, come here and work. And I'm like, okay, I will. But I told these women with the horses that I will stay there and work there for a prolonged period of time. And now, I was getting ready to leave, like, to this other friend. And so basically, I was okay with them not paying me because they expected me to be there and were relying on me somewhat. But I gone away way sooner than they expected. So I was like, don't pay me. All work I do right now it's on the house. I get it, okay. And I wanted to leave pretty soon, but actually, I'm not a wait, alarm clock. I'm meant to be on podcast right now, so that other guy has that too bad. He has to wait or something. Unfortunately, I believe it's going to be a good podcast. So, what was I talking about? Yeah, I'm not a complete scumbag. I'm not like, oh yeah, this other guy wants me to work for him, so I will leave. No, they actually wanted to go on a trip. That guy wanted me to work there right away. While that trip, they were supposed to be on a trip with their horses or something, and they had an injured horse which they had to leave unattended at home. And I was supposed to be there to take care of him and to take care of his injury because it was a male horse who was annoying other horses, and one horse literally got pissed, so he bit him in the ass and he had like meat ripped off his ass because of other pissed off horse biting him. So I was supposed to be there and care for him. And I was like, you know what, okay, I will wait until your trip and I will be here for like the week, like 2 weeks extra, even though my friend needs me, so I can take care of your horse because I'm not complete scumbag. And if you rely on, okay, I will do it and I will only leave when you will be okay with me leaving, so I don't cause any damage into your planning and whatever. So yeah, I'm not a scumbag. I did that. So I was basically supposed to put like some chemicals to clear his wound, and then water, and then honey or ghee with cannabis on it. So I almost never put on the chemicals, I only put on the water and I put on the honey or the ghee with cannabis on it. And they said afterwards that it held pretty good, so there was no damage done by not giving the toxic chemical inside of the food. Maybe it wasn't such a big deal, I don't care, I just use water and the cannabis and the honey. And actually, what is funny, I tried to eat the ghee with the cannabis, which was supposed to like be on the wounds, and I ate it to see if it got me stoned. It did. So funny. So, yeah, another fun experience is when I was there was this thunderstorm, and we were like running around, making sure that hiding horses in the stables and making sure that horses don't get injured or something during the thunder, whatever. And I had no umbrella or anything which was waterproof. So I had to be like in shorts, like naked almost. Because if my clothes would get wet, that would be terrible. So I had no clothing and I was just getting, it was brutal thunderstorm, like so big, so much rain. It was so aggressive, so much thunder, so much lightning. And I was naked in it, so I would get wet, but I would not have my clothing get wet. So afterwards I could get into warm clothing. So yeah, but I was outside for like 3 or more hours in the rain. naked, and I was really fucking cold. But it was really an interesting experience. I was waiting there, looking at some horses, and I was just almost naked like some berserker, walking in the thunders and the lightning. And I was walking there, and I had a spiritual experience of talking to Thor, the Germanic god of thunder. And I made a poem for him. I was like making words and whatever about him, and I was trying to say another word which would rhyme. So I was just speaking out aloud a poem for Thor, which I was creating. And I remember saying something really cool, like Thor, who is, I don't know, something really awe-inspiring and awesome, something really fearful and powerful. And right after I finished it, it was like, I don't know, I really don't remember, but it was really badass. And like a second after I finished it, there was a brutally strong thunder sound, stronger than other thunder sounds. And it was like perfectly timed after me saying that thing to Thor. It was really cool. Good experience. Yeah, then I also rode a horse there, and it was like some really big horse, bigger than usual, and he was like castrated and like he was like very disobedient, and they gave me on that horse with no saddle, and yeah, I'm so tall that when you go on a horse, you are meant to like get over him and then put your leg over him, like you jump over him, then you put your leg. I was so tall that if I was slightly uphill, I would literally just go and I would jump over the horse and I would just swing my leg and I would jump straight on back of the horse. And the women were like, bro, that looked like he's been riding horses for 20 years. I wish I was so tall as well. That was really cool. But yeah, the ride was terrible. I was terrible at riding the horse. And you are supposed to squeeze the horse with your thighs. And for some reason, my thighs were shaking whenever I squeezed them. Like, they were shaking like I don't know why. It's like there's this exercise for like somatic tremor where you like shake trauma away. You can literally shake trauma away. When you get trauma, it gets stored in your tissue, and if you shake like a retard, then you will literally shake it away to some extent, and you will yawn afterwards, like you will literally break down trauma by shaking. And there's this one exercise that you lay on your back, and you have your feet like this, and you force your thighs to shake, which is very effective. Every time I do it, I yawn a lot afterwards, which is a sign of recovering from a trauma, which is subject for a different video, whatever. But it was very similar. I was just completely shaking and unable to hold with my thighs properly. So I tried to hold with my ankles instead. But if you hold with your ankles, then you are basically telling the horse to go faster, which I didn't want to do because he was too fast already. So it was struggle for me to keep it. And we went for a really long time. We went uphill, downhill, often we were running. And I was very scared the whole ride. It was very violent, and he was very disobedient, and yeah, a very, very cool experience. Like, when I was on that high horse, being tall myself, and we are going downhill, like, here is my eye level, here. How can you see it on the table? Whatever. Here is my eye level usually, like here. Well, on the horse, it's like here, and we were going downhill, so my eye level was like here, but instead of the ground being here, the ground was like here. It was so unpleasant to go downhill with that horse, especially if he was going too fast. And I was like, please slow down. I was literally saying please, and I was trying to beg him like a pussy, like, bro, the horse, he smashed me. He was castrated, and I made a joke of it, like, he tried to he tried to castrate me as well, so he can share his pain with me. Like, because when we were running, like, my balls were getting smashed. My balls hurt a lot. My stomach hurt from my balls hurting. I was trying very hard to lean back and do anything possible so my balls don't get smashed while he is running. But still, my balls were getting smashed every time he ran. And as well, my, how I will say it without sounding disgusting or impolite, basically my ass got completely beat up from riding this thing. I had on my, no, I can say glute, yeah, my glutes had an injury from it. Like, I had blood and I had no skin on my glutes, and for like several weeks my glutes would have like this cut with like, how do you call it when you have like a wound and you can peel it, yeah, not it's not scar tissue, but like when you can like peel off your dry blood from your skin. I had that on my glutes for a very long time since I rode that horse once. And as well, my balls were destroyed, everything hurt a lot. Yeah, my balls hurt for like a day. It was violent. It was cool. I'm glad I went through that experience, honestly. So cool. And of course, it makes me pretty much respect people who ride horses, because it's really fucking hard. But that doesn't make me stop laughing at when I read something like two women with horses. Another story is that they wanted me to learn to drive. I can drive somewhat, but not a lot. And they made me drive. Like, look, now we are going to drive. And I drove, and there was some fucking hole in the road, and within 2 minutes of me driving, the wheel got damaged and it like fell down into the car. I don't know, something happened, and what happened with the wheel, it happened in the past with the same car I was driving. And the whole people were stopping by, and they were saying, yeah, we know about that hole, there was this other fucking car crash there. I actually take responsibility. I'm a shit at driving or something, I maybe should have seen the hole coming, and I broke the car. Okay, it's my own fault, and I even told them, like, I wasn't like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see the hole, or whatever, or, no, I just told them, I'm sorry for breaking the car. Like, I accepted my responsibility, even though, in reality, the way locals talked about the hole, and the way the hole wasn't visible, like, and the thing which happening to the car before, I don't know, maybe it was my fault, maybe not. Let's say it was my fault, because I'm a bad driver or something. Well, anyway, we were just waiting there for the towing service to get our car off the road, and then we were picked up by someone else. And yeah, I was working between these two places, this place with women with horses and whatever, and this old ass house where the mother of the older woman with horses lived, and she also had horses. And she was a chain smoker, she had a dog which she was screaming at all of the time, and she was with some female friend in there who was also old, and it was cool. There was this other house in which she told me that Jan Žižka, if you are Czech then you know who Jan Žižka is, was sleeping once before he went to some battle or something. Yeah. Bro, if I explain the Hussite wars in this video, I can do it, yeah, I can do it. So basically, the Catholic Church said, if you pay us, you will not go to hell. This Jan Hus guy said, that's bullshit and it goes against the Bible. So Catholic Church said, we will burn this nigga. They burned him, and then these people who followed this guy, they fought against the Catholic Church, and these Czech people with like peasants, complete peasants who used farming tools instead of weapons, they defeated like a whole crusade of the whole Europe. Like whole fucking Europe under Catholic Church assaulted Czechia, and Hussites fucking fought them off. And one of these guys was Jan Žižka. Like they even had a song called Ktož sú boží bojovníci, who are the gods' fighters. And once they were singing it, and the Crusaders were so afraid of hearing that song, they ran away from battle before the battle began. So the leader of of these guys, Jan Žižka, who was a guy who had only one eye, and at the end of his life was like blind, but he never lost a fucking battle, then he slept in a house at which I was working at once. Very cool. Like he slept there once, and I was working there repeatedly. Yeah, so that's that. I worked there, and can I move on? Yeah, most of the work I did that. One time I did this job with just like this plant called vrakic. It's basically poisonous, and I was tearing it out from the ground or something for several hours in the noon sunlight in the hottest days of summer in some elevation like 500 meters above ground. So yeah, it was colder, but the UV light was strong. Just so much light. Like I was in the noon sunlight all of the time working, and I wasn't getting sunburned. I had so insanely strong heat tolerance. But I just remember picking these poisonous plants once, listening to Jack Crew's podcast, doing it for hours, and getting some sort of headache and drinking water. It was just the heat I was going through. It was disgusting, and I'm amazed at how I was able to take it while the women were in the shade sleeping and were like, oh, it's so hot here in the shade, and I was walking shirtless also. Brutal, completely brutal. Then what I was doing the most is building fences. Like, you have this big fucking pillar from wood, and you smash it into the ground with a big hammer. It was like 10 kilograms or heavier, maybe 15 kilograms hammer, and I would just fucking smash it like Hulk. It was very violent, very aggressive. My muscles hurt from it, and few times my hands were bleeding from it. I'm not kidding. Like, the stress, the brushing against the wood made my palms bleed sometimes. And when I was picking these plants before, again, my hands were bleeding. Literally, I was working so hard physically, my hands were fucking bleeding. So, when I start to shit talk these women, you will understand my frustration. I was working so hard, my hands were fucking bleeding very often. I was working in noon sunlight. Sometimes I would go to bed at like 11 p.m. because we were still working at like 10 p.m. Sometimes when there was a thunderstorm, I was working with them until 12 p.m. or whatever. I did a lot of work for them. So now we can talk about the dark stuff. So I was constantly getting disrespected by mostly the older woman, and she knew that I was in love with her. I told it to her. I just told her, and it manifested in different ways. For example, she would know I'm attracted to her, and that I literally told her. Yeah, I told in the campfire I was impulsive, and I said I don't enjoy being a cuck. It's because I fell in love with you and I'm jealous of your lovers. I just was able to say it straight to her face. It was like, she understood it completely. Despite all of that, she will do things like let her lover drive me to the other place to work, while her lover was touching all over and everything and making fun of it and whatever. Or she would have another guy come over, like someone who was about to become her lover, and I didn't know who that was, and I was like, yeah, it was that, and another lover or what, and he wasn't her lover, and he was like, what, another lover? You have lovers or something? And afterwards I found out he wasn't her lover, but she wanted him to become one of her lovers, and he didn't know that she has lovers. So then she told me, like, if you try to chase away my new lovers, then you are losing points with me. Like, at that point I didn't really love her anymore because I was disgusted with things she was like doing to me. But she was like trying to say, look, if you scare away my potential lovers, then you are less likely to become my lover. Like, bro, you are aware I'm attracted to you and you don't want me, and instead you look for complete strangers. Like, it's obvious for me that I don't have a chance. Holy shit. Like, you don't have to. Like, she was pretending. Like, I saw through it, so I don't care. But she was basically pretending that I have a chance with her, and that if I do stuff she wants me to do, I have more chance. And if I do stuff that she doesn't want me to do, then I have less chance. Like, do what I want you to do, or you will not become my lover. Like, she was literally trying to manipulate me in that way. That's fucking. Yeah, things like that happened, but unironically, I thought it was worth it because the scenery there was just so beautiful. But the food I had was so good. I just love it. I didn't think I would be there for the rest of my life, but I thought to myself, when it's the summer, then being here in this elevation with more UV light and all of this fucking beautiful nature, this cool physical job, yeah, I will do it. I can somewhat do it, maybe. But I was getting so depressed of getting. Do I have more examples? Like, I cannot call them like all out of the bed, but yeah. The way she would talk to me, like, one time I had something, when I worked with the wood there, something got into my eye and I couldn't get it out of my eye for a long time. So I had to go, she then went to feed the horses or something, and I would go uphill so she could like go to her house and like remove the thing from my eye. And at that point, she was being disrespectful for me and trying to manipulate me and whatever. And I just didn't like her that much anymore. And we were walking uphill, and before she was constantly nagging me for walking too slow, like, you're so slow, it's annoying that you're too slow, and she was just being a bitch for me walking too slow all of the time. And here we were walking uphill, and she was staring to her phone, absolutely not present with me. Like, she absolutely didn't acknowledge I was there, like, existing. She was just staring into her phone. And that staring into her phone, combined with me wanting to be up soon so I can get that thing out of my eye, and me being connected constantly for walking too slow, I just walked uphill like faster. I walked fast so I wouldn't be slow. So I didn't walk beside her because she was staring into her phone, so it probably didn't even matter if we were beside each other because whatever, phone. So I walked faster, I didn't care. I wanted the thing out of my eye fast. And she like started to be really pissed, like, annoying, like, why the fuck do you walk so fast? Like, why do you walk in front of me when instead of walking like next to me? Like, now you are trying to pretend that you walk fast or something. Like, just being a complete disrespectful bitch. Like, I didn't even want to offend her. I just wanted to walk faster because she was watching her phone anyway, and she would just treat me like that. Just randomly get pissed and become mean. That's the word. She was incredibly fucking mean. And not just to me, even to her coworker. Like, one time she was leaving like often, and ironically, even though I was in love with her, the times that she wasn't there and I was there with the other coworker, I felt the best. I felt relieved when she wasn't there, and yeah, she was away, and we were working with that other woman, and we were working literally all day. I joined her at like 11 because she was doing something where she didn't need me, so I had free time. But she was working from morning, and then from 11, we literally worked to 11 for like fucking 12 hours with like one pause for breakfast. We had to take care of the apartments, we had to fucking clean the apartments, we had to vacuum the apartments, change the beds and everything. So much work for the whole day, 2 days straight. And then this witch bitch came home, and at 11 we were like finishing some horse work, like feeding the horses. And then she was calling with someone, and he was like, oh yeah, I'm already home. And then basically it went to like, oh yeah, he's already home, but you guys are just finishing the horses by now. that speaks about how slow you work. And we were I wasn't offended because of me, but because of the other employee. I was like, did you just say that she works too slow in a really disrespectful manner after she worked like 12 hours a day, 2 days straight, and being stressed about it all the time? Like, what? So afterwards, I bring it up like, I told that witch like, hey, I don't remember what it was, but it was something in the way like, look, I don't like it that you say we work too slow. We literally worked all day. And then she got pissed and annoyed, and she was like, yeah, but you can be walking all day, but if you walk too slow, then you can literally, like, then you can still walk too little if you walk too slow. And she just got pissed and annoyed, and she was just being a bitch to the female, like, I said it, and she started to be a bitch to the female co-worker. And the female co-worker started to defend herself somehow. Like, she was complete bitch to that other co-worker because of something I said. And she was so annoyed because I said that co-worker actually worked well. Like, I literally said that the co-worker worked good. She worked hard all weekend. And she was like annoyed and angry because of that. Because I say that someone who is close to her works well. Yeah, and then I said like, yeah, I understand it, but she was working. I understand you can work for a long time, but if you work too little, it's too slow. But she was really working hard this weekend, and again she got so pissed. So I just left, and I said good night to that other female coworker, but not to that witch. And I don't actually remember correctly, but I vaguely remember having some kind of dream after that night. Like, after this happened and I got completely disgusted with the witch, I kind of stopped being in love with her, even though still someone was in love with her. But I just knew that I'm in love with her because biological reasons and scarcity. I was aware. I literally described the situation to my friend, and I was aware it was because of scarcity. I literally said in a voice message that if there was another woman who would be a bit taller, or would eat a bit more raw milk, or be more respectable, or basically the copy of the same woman, but just 5% better, then I would completely forget about that witch. So I was aware that I was in love with her only because of scarcity. So it wasn't really love, but it was still unpleasant. But I kind of want to be with her. I wanted to be nice to her and hug her and shit like that, which she absolutely didn't deserve. So yeah, after this incident, I stopped being in love with... Bro, you clicked on a video of a fucking raw meat eater talking about quitting 9 to 5. And then you go into adventure of a guy taking kratom to pretend he's of Wall Street, and then talking about being in love with a woman with horses, with several lovers, and describing this whole fucking how do you call it? A roman. It's like whole fucking novel. Like, I'm describing a novel which you could write a book based upon. It's a random video of a raw meat eater talking about quitting his job. Holy shit! If you quit your job and you go work on a farm for 1 year, then you will have these kinds of stories. Like, I will be able to tell these stories until I die. I'm going to shit on this whole experience in a while, but I'm still glad I went through it. That's so fucking fun. My life is so fun. That's so cool. So yeah, where was I? I stopped being in love with this woman, and I remember having a dream. I don't remember the dream, but I remember describing someone that I had a dream that same night, where I don't remember it exactly, but the witch was in that dream, and I refused to take some order from her, or I disrespected her, or like made it clear that I don't have interest in her. Like I stopped being in love with her, and that night I had a dream where it was like me breaking free from her spell or something. Oh, fuck. I'm going to be ashamed of this, but I might as well say this. Oh. But yeah, the dream was, I really want to emphasize it. It was really cool because, like, you stop loving her because of this incident. You stand up to her and you say, bro, she was working hard, leave her the fuck alone. And then I had a dream of, like, maybe even beating her or slapping her. Probably not that, but something along those lines, like breaking free from chains. Wait, I gotta see if my battery is not battery. Yeah, battery too. Yeah, it's good, I think. So, when we talk about spells, I am a pagan and I do rituals for my gods pretty often. I sacrifice milk or fruit or something to the gods, and afterwards I play music to the gods on a jaw harp. I'm really good jaw harp player. I can play piano, but I'm even better at playing jaw harp. I can do such bangers with the jaw harp. It's the thing which you put into your mouth and you do like techno, like pew, 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 pew. I'm so good with it. If you ever hear me, like anyone who hears me is like, what the fuck? You are no. I know jaw harps exist, but you are not supposed to be this good with them. So I play jaw harps as sacrifices from my gods, like to make them happy, like a gift. It's basically like a gift. When you give a sacrifice to to a polytheistic god, it's like a gift to like show him that you like. It's not required. The gods obviously don't need it. They have everything they need, but it's not about them receiving. It's about you giving. Because you get so much from gods, you are so blessed that you just want to give something back. And this one time, I'm going to be ashamed of sharing this story, but I might as well share it. There was this I don't know how do you call it, small building with a painting of some Celtic-looking woman and bull skulls in it, skulls with horns and whatever. It was really cool. It was like some sacred room or something. So I went there. I gave a sacrifice to the entity, the woman which was drawn on the wall, and I gave her a sacrifice. It's like a candle or something, and then I played the music, and in exchange for that humble sacrifice, and I did it with all respect and humbleness, I all asked her to basically, the woman, the witch, she told me something along the lines, I'm afraid of being loved or something like that. So I asked the entity in the building to make that witch stop being afraid of being loved by me. And afterwards, the co-worker went there because she was aware of I was playing the jaw harp and she walked like by when she was feeding the horses, and she knew I was there. So then she was checking inside, and afterwards she told me, "What is this notification?" Yeah. That guy from the podcast. I'm sorry, bro. I'm so sorry. Oh, another one. Fuck. Is my battery dying? Yeah, it is. So I gotta be fast. Afterwards, she came to me and she said, "What were you doing for a ritual in that in that small building?" Because I was there, and I felt a really interesting energy in there. It was heavy and unpleasant and dark. It was like too much. I had to open the door to let it dilute it with air. And she was like, "No, it was not your energy. It was completely different." I was terrified, "Oh shit, really?" Very cool. And I thought, what kind of fucking thing I could have been speaking, because usually I speak to gods. So, my camera died again. So usually I pray to established goddesses or spirits on my ancestors or something. But in this case, I wasn't actually aware of what I was making a sacrifice and a plea to. It was the woman which was drawn on the wall of the building. and that would have been some spirit. I don't know. But I was thinking once, what kind of entity could have it been? And I thought to myself, dark female energy. Maybe Kali, this Hindu goddess of destruction and death with 4 arms, who like steps on her husband and does like this face like with holding the head and stuff like that. I thought that to myself, and I don't remember how it went, but I think I said maybe Kali, which Kali is a goddess from the Far East, and I see absolutely no connection between Kali and a random spirit drawn on that building in some Celtic society, expect both being dark energies or something. And I thought myself, Kali, and right at that time, I stepped on a sharp stone or something, because I like to walk barefoot, even on stones. Because I'm not a sissy, so I walk barefoot even on stones. But I cut on something sharp, and I cut my foot or something. And, or maybe I didn't, but I don't remember how it went. But I remember that surrounding this time period, I cut my feet somehow. But basically, I thought to myself, Kali, and then I cut my feet or something. Then the next day, the following day, I was walking by the exact same place, and I was listening to music. And then randomly, I walked exactly at the place where I cut my feet with that sharp stone when I thought to myself, Kali. And when I walked there, exactly at that same space, exactly at that time, like within 1 meter of me walking around the space where I was cut my foot, the song called Black Magic SS, Kali, about that goddess, started playing. Very interesting. Very much. Yeah. I don't think if it's chronologically sound to mention now, but yeah, I was pretty depressed that I'm getting disrespected and manipulated, and that she's complete witch, and that for some fucking reason I still somewhat like her, and that at the same time I want to leave, but at the same time I like it there and whatever. I was torn, and I thought to myself, I was having a long monologue one night that I should leave, and oh, I have way more interesting stuff to tell you, but I was thinking about myself, maybe I should just goddamn leave. And I was saying, I don't like it here, maybe I like that woman, but I don't actually like her, I'm lonely, and I need someone who is like her, but it doesn't need to be her. I was just having a half an hour long monologue on whether to leave or not. And I was having good reasoning with myself. I was listening to music, and I have this playlist which I listen to before sleep of 3 same songs, which I listen not every night, but very often before sleep. I listen to the 3 same songs, and I was doing that where I was there. It's songs which, one of them you won't find, the other ones are not so cool. Who cares? I will not share it until you are going to budge me and want to know what kind of songs I listen to before sleep. So I was listening to it, I was having this monologue, and I randomly put on the playlist because it was before going to sleep. And you have to know that I see the number 24 everywhere. I see it in birth dates of people around me. Like I did a podcast with, I'm not actually going to dox people, but very relevant people are born at 24th. Then when I listened to I see too much 24. When I do some stuff, then I need a password or something, like some verification code, 24. I go somewhere, I see 24 on the cars. I listen to podcasts, and people say that for number 24 all of the time in it. Or it has 24 likes or 24 views. Or I watched Hamza before, and he had this kickboxing series. And I didn't watch it actually, but one time he made a video, day 24, So I listened to the Day 24 as MP3. And after 5 years of watching Hamza, it was the first time he ever mentioned eating raw meat. He didn't do it. He talked about someone who eats raw meat. But raw meat is my thing, and he only mentions raw meat when it's like fucking my number video. Very interesting. Like, I sound like some schizo, and I don't want to convince you that I see miracles or whatever. I just want to make you understand how important the number 24 is for my psychology. I'm not going to say it's unlikely. Like, yeah, I agree. The number 24 is completely normal to see more often because I've been through year 2024 and today has 24 hours, so more companies have the number 24 in their name and so on. I agree, it's random chance, it's nothing special that I see number 24. It's not a miracle or anything. I see number 24 in so many examples. I will not even give you to them. I don't want you to, like, places where I live always have fucking 24 around the postal cards or so. No, not cards, like, who cares? It's random chance. But you have to understand that number 24 is deeply important for my psychology. So if you want to brainwash me and manipulate me, use the number 24. Write to me at 1224. So, yeah, before I will tell you what happened when I was debating whether to leave or not. One time I was walking there, and I was walking on the road, and there is this postal card for the village. So the people who like deliver the mail, they don't go to the village, they just go to the postal card which is on the road, and they put it there. And not postal card, like poster box, mailbox. In the middle of nowhere, a mailbox. On that mailbox, there was a big, thick yellow number, 24. I literally walked there, I've seen the 24, and I kid you not, I literally screamed. I was like, "Ah!" I was literally shocked and had a shock in my chest. Like, what the fuck? How the fuck is a 24 in there? And yeah, in the place where I lived, there was a book which had like 224 pages. Then I found out that it was like on the cover, 224 page book. Then my shoes, which I received, had 24 on them. Like, so much 24s, making, yeah. The building where Yishka slept it had a tower, and the tower was destroyed the year 1924. Then, when I went from this one place to work on this horse place, there was this huge sign showing, oh, this city where you go, it's 24 kilometers away. There was and again, bridges with like signs, 24-ton limit. There was so much 24. I was literally brainwashed, and I thought, maybe I fucking have to be here? I don't know, bro. At this point, I think that before I was born, gods, Odin specifically, put 24s all around the earth to mark the places where I will walk. I unironically think this, that 24s in random places announce me coming there eventually for a brief period of time. So, once I was debating whether I should leave or not, and listening to the songs, and then as the song ended, the last song of my playlist, and I was like, you know what? I should just pack the fuck up and leave. And then I opened my phone to, I don't know, turn off the music, I don't know, but I just opened my phone and I just said, I should just fucking pack up and leave. I opened my phone and the time was 22:24, right after I said this thing, after my playlist ended at that specific time. That was very interesting. I was literally crying because of how much it affected me. And then another thing is that there was this guy with whom I had another arc, with whom I went to Canary Islands later, and from the people who texted me, like they want me to work for them, one of the guys was from Canary Islands. I didn't notice it right away. If I did, I would go there. But I noticed it now. So I was debating whether to stay there where I felt depressed, or go to the Canary Islands. And he lived on Tenerife, the Canary Island. And I was debating it very intensively. And one time I squatted down before when waiting for some job before House of the Witch, and there was this huge as how do you call it, towel with picture of a tiger, and the text Tenerife. I was debating whether to go to Tenerife, and there was hanging this towel Tenerife. Out of all places, it was not Rhodos, not Greece, not Italy. It was specifically Tenerife. What are the odds of that? Like, the things which have a low chance of happening, I tell you quite a lot of them. Like, I understand the things I describe, okay, they might happen, but if unlikely things like that happen so often, something is up with me. I don't know, my aura is too strong or something. So, yeah. Yeah, I was chain smoking. I was depressed of being in love with her and not knowing what to do. So I was chain smoking cigars. You know, I literally had cigars and I didn't know that you are supposed to put the smoke in your mouth. I thought that you are supposed to smoke cigars the same way you smoke cigarettes. So I literally chain smoked cigars while breathing the nicotine inside of my lungs. It was very aggressive and I was coughing a lot, but I thought it was normal because I'm not a smoker, so I'm not used to it. But the nicotine made the pain go away somewhat. And I also did cold exposure, which made the pain go away somewhat, but then it would come back stronger. So ironically, cigars would make me feel not as bad as cold exposure afterwards, after the high went off. I was destroyed back then. So yeah. Another thing, like I was doing something and it was something I never did, like some gas station. She was like, do this thing, and I was like, how do you do it? Because like I can try to figure it out, but I can just ask and do it more effectively. And she was like, fuck you, all men are like, how do you do it? You are like looking for a babysitter to show you everything. Like, I just fucking asked, how do you do something which I never did? She could just tell me in 5 seconds and I could do it right away. And she was like, you need a babysitter to show you how to do everything. Like, what the fuck? Like, chill out. She was just so toxic. And at this point I was just so depressed and I hated it there. And one time I was working and I just felt so bad. Like, I literally sent an SMS to my coworker like, I feel really bad. I have to take like an hour of work right now. And I finished, like I had to do something and afterwards I had to report for another job. I finished the thing and then I first finished it and then I went, I feel really bad. I have to take a work of work. And then they were like, oh, what is happening to you? And I'm like, I don't remember how it went, but basically I told them it's not like physically, it's like mentally. Like I was literally like sitting like I cannot even show you or pretend because I'm so far away from how I felt. But I felt so fucking bad biochemically. I was so depressed. I just took some time off work. And I was just honest with it. I was not hiding it. I was like, oh, I feel bad, or I was like, I'm fucking depressed and whatever. I was just open with being basically a pussy who doesn't want to work because I'm sad or something. I was just confident enough to say I was not afraid of them judging me. I just didn't give a fuck. I was working very hard physically for them, and I just couldn't do it anymore. Just for some time, I just resigned, and then I told them, and they were like. Afterwards, the older one specifically, she was bringing it up all of the time. She was gaslighting me that I have incredibly low testosterone because I'm too emotional or whatever. And that instead of working and biting through and pretending, yeah, like one time I touched this electric fence. I didn't touch it. I like was climbing over it and it hit me almost next to my testicles, like into my hand. And not hand, my thigh. And it was like the third time I got hit that day because I was stupid. And it was literally like the second time within like 5 minutes time frame, not 5, maybe 15 minutes time frame of being hit. And I was so tired that I just got hit with the electricity. And I just screamed like, fuck! Like, ow! Like expressed pain. And because of me expressing pain because of the electricity, and to me not wanting to work because I was depressed. These two instances, similar instances which happened like often because it's a hard physical labor, like I break something or I swing badly when swinging the 15 or 10, I think it's 15 kilogram hammer, maybe 10, maybe 15. When I swing the hammer and I miss and my whole fucking arm jerks and it just fucking hurts and I'm like, ow, holy shit, or something like that. And she was constantly trying to gaslight me that I have incredibly low testosterone because I express when I'm hurt, both emotionally and physically. Like, if I had high testosterone, then when I get hurt with electricity, then I will not express pain, which I want to do. I will pretend it doesn't hurt because I'm afraid of other people judging me for expressing pain or something. Like, she was just trying to gaslight me so hard into making me think I have incredibly low testosterone, and I was just so secure. I said like, yeah, sure, I have low testosterone, whatever, I don't care. Like, I wasn't arguing like I actually have high testosterone and blah blah blah, and actually expressing pain shows that you can do whatever you want to do, which means you have high. I didn't give a fuck. I just, yeah, maybe I have low testosterone. Who cares? Yeah, I just didn't give a fuck. And I actually know if expressing pain when you get hurt by electricity, or refusing to work if you are depressed, refusing to work for someone who treats you like shit. I don't think if that is low or high testosterone rate, but I might just as well be insecure and try to pretend that I'm right. Like, if I experience pain and it agitates me, it's like the third fucking time that day. It's electricity, which is meant to get horses to not pass. Fucking horses, and I get hit near to my testicles, and I go like, ow, fuck, for like 2 seconds. I don't think it's a low testosterone trait to fucking not pretend I didn't get hurt. Holy hell. Yeah, but basically she was doing it to like disrespect me and to be mean to me. That was the whole point of her trying to gaslight me. I had some YouTube videos about raw meat and whatever, and I said, yeah, raw meat, testosterone, whatever. And she was like, yeah, you don't actually know anything about health and testosterone because you express pain. Like, look at our horses. When our horses get hurt, they can pretend that they are not hurt because of testosterone. Like, that's testosterone, like biting your teeth and doing all the work that I want you to do. If you do what I want, then you have high testosterone. If you work for me without question, you have high testosterone. If you don't express pain when you enjoy yourself working for me, then you have high testosterone. But if you don't do something I want you to do, then that means you are over emotional and have low testosterone and whatever. I'm just so pissed. She was literally like trying to say that the more resistance I express in following her and doing everything she wants like she was a goddess, the less I do that, the lower testosterone I have. Like, high testosterone means following her, being a fucking slave. Like, whatever suits her self-interests, that's what makes you high testosterone. Basically, that was the whole paradigm. Yeah, this is very interesting. What was this? No, everything is fine. This is very interesting. I told the camera stop record. This is very interesting one. After I left, which I will tell you afterwards later, she told me like, you smelled terrible, do something with yours. Like, she was trying to insult me million ways, and one of them was like, you smelled terrible from your raw meat diet or something, even though she ate raw meat. So my camera died, and then I had to make a podcast. And now I'm back, and You know, as I delve deeper and deeper into this story, it gets darker. It's like, have you seen the movie Apocalypse Now? When it starts with, yeah, US Army and the Valkyries and the fight, and then it goes deeper and darker into getting insane and just you can see the dark, it gets darker and darker over time, the movie Apocalypse Now. It's just like with this story, like I started, oh yeah, I was at Jordan Belfort and I was cold calling people, and it ended up in me working on a farm with horses with someone who is causing me pain and me experiencing psychological suffering and chain smoking. And you know, I don't think I made it clear. I wasn't like in a village or in a town working on a farm with people I didn't like. I was very far away from civilization on a farm in middle of nowhere. There was a small village with few people in it. And sometimes every few days I would see like two people walking by in that village. But that village, it wasn't like a village like in like where you would go, and it's just not a village. Like when you say a village, I'm thinking like few tens of buildings, maybe hundred of buildings with families living there. This village next to the place where I worked at, it was literally, I could maybe count it like it was literally like 8 houses with some families together, and that's it. That's the village. Just bunch of people who you don't interact with. Otherwise, I basically only interacted with no one but these women I've worked with. Like I was completely cut off from the outside world, except for these two women, for that witch and the younger one. And then okay, sometimes people who went to the hotel, but surface level interactions. You just see them and you walk by them. But we are all 99% of my communication was just with these two people, and then when I worked at that other place with that mother of the witch, which absolutely wasn't better. I was so isolated, so it made it harder for me to be in that state and with these people. And yeah, I ended at that woman saying I smell while insulting me in other million ways after I left. What is interesting, it might be true that I smelled to her because of eating raw meat or whatever, but I've experienced something very interesting regarding my smell. Some people say I smell. My mother, who is addicted to using perfumes and deodorants, says I smell. Then her husband, who is not my father, yeah, fucked up family dynamics, is also saying that I smell, and he's also addicted to deodorants and whatever. But then one of my aunt, which is related to my mother, says I smell. But then my father never says I smell unless like I'm come home from work and I'm brutally sweaty and I didn't wash yet. He never says I smell. And then no relative from my father's side says I smell. Yeah, like some people say I smell, and I believe that maybe I smell to them. But at the same time, it's not even relevant that some people find it like I don't smell. What I want to mention is that some people think that I smell really good. Like when I'm on a concert or some festival or some action, there are like people, like I'm always center of attention because I eat raw meat, I have some social media presence in Czech Republic, I look like this, I'm tall, I like 6'5", I look like some demigod, like Griffith, I'm magnetizing, people swarm around me, and I just do a lot of ruckus, like people notice me and talk with me, and often people tell me in these gatherings and whatever that I smell good, especially women, and especially my hair. When people smell my hair, they say it smells incredibly good. And at the same time, I have some people who claim that I smell bad. And it's going to sound weird, but most of the time, the people I respect less say I smell bad because raw meat or whatever. And people who are like friendly to me, then they think I smell good. I don't know what it is caused by. I've heard more people who eat raw meat that they are being told that by other people that they smell well, they smell good. So I can understand that, but at the same time, some people saying I smell bad, I don't know why. I believe them. It's likely that for some people I smell bad, but most women say I smell good. That's what I will leave it at. Yeah, no, I mentioned she ate raw meat, but actually she wasn't primal, agenous, whatever. She actually didn't really eat raw meat. She did eat raw meat sometimes, like frozen raw meat, or well, she would randomly eat raw meat, but she would eat like soup made from leafy greens and vegetables right afterwards, which completely disables your stomach acid, which makes you not digest raw meat anyway. And she would drink from plastic, she would drink fermented fruit juice, like just sugar, fermented, which Agnes says makes you impulsive and aggressive and stuff like that, which did show at her. She just, besides sometimes eating raw meat, which she probably didn't even digest, and sometimes drinking raw milk, then she actually wasn't compatible with my lifestyle. She didn't care about health at all. Or yeah, she did, but she wasn't compatible with being with someone who is primal at all. She even ate like a lot of garlic to kill parasites that she could get from eating raw meat. So yes, she sometimes ate raw meat somewhat, but she was not primal, basically. I remember Scott Hall, this guy, talking about, oh yeah, primal means like following Agenus, not just eating raw meat. But there are so many people who don't follow Agenus like strictly, and this don't like the rules from Agenus, like don't mix milk with meat in the same meal and whatever. These people call themselves primal, but okay, I will bend the knee and I will understand that the word primal has shifted, and that, okay, I can call these people who are not really primal, they don't follow Agenus, I can call them primal. But let's make the new definition for primal: someone who eats raw meat and who is not afraid of parasites. Well, she was afraid of parasites, so even in this new definition of primal which Scott created to fit the amount of people from TikTok which started to eat raw meat, even according to this new watered down definition, she still wasn't primal. That's funny. Yeah. You can see my mood improved because the podcast I recorded was so goddamn good. You are probably going to see it this Sunday, Saturday, or you've seen the Saturday before, I don't know. I record this before December, and I'm going to release this video at end of December or something, so together with the podcast. So I wouldn't bother trying to find chronological track of time in me talking about which video or podcast is uploaded when. It's going to be hard because I myself don't know when I upload any of this shit. I may be dead when it's uploaded. I hope not, but it's not impossible. Yeah, now, there's this co-worker. This male co-worker who would sometimes come on the farm or on the house of Jančiška, where he slept once, and he would work there and do some maintenance shit like cutting the grass or I don't know, like painting the walls, reconstructing the house, something like that. And he was there, and then he had birthday, so he wasn't working, so we were chilling together, and we went together to see the castle. Like, he would find a map on the internet, like, let's go to the highest castle in Czech Republic, let's go there and let's chill and let's talk. And we talked and we chilled, and he told me, yo, the mother of the witch you are working for, she's as well a witch. She's so terrible, like, she has so much money, she has all these guests in her hotel or something, that makes her so much money. She has so much tools, so much like drillers, she has horses, just everything. And she keeps telling me she has no money, and each time I want her to pay me, then she's looking at me like I was trying to, like she wants to kill me, like She doesn't want to pay me. She pays me, but she's so annoyed with paying me. Like, I do so much work for her and she doesn't want to pay me. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I work for my witch and I don't get paid at all besides getting some food. Yeah, that kind of sucks. So I thought to myself, yeah, this guy feels like a slave because they have reluctance of paying him. And I'm not even being paid and I'm working very hard physically. And yeah, I'm basically a fucking slave. The way he talked about working for people and getting paid and not letting people fuck over with you, I realized I'm a fucking slave. Like, before these 2 times, it was okay, I wasn't getting paid because one time I could agree I didn't make enough more money than they fed me because there was barely any work. Other time I told them to not pay me because I left sooner than they expected me to. But this time it was agreed upon me getting paid. So yeah, that was one thing in my mind, like, yeah, I should get fucking paid. Like, I've been here for a month, like, month each time before, or almost a month, not paid, okay. But this month I was working there and I was meant to be getting paid already. So it was a time, a month, to start to get paid. Like, to get a paycheck or something. So yeah, and also that coworker, he saw the witch once and he was like, bro, how can you be in love with her? Like, I've seen her and she just looks so false, like so fake, like so false, fake, like a fake person, he said. We had a good walk actually. It was so cool to walk uphill with him to that castle. Like, I even have like a picture of me with a baton and my like, it's called Chadar, the grey thing. I lost it unfortunately a few days ago. It was so cool. I believe, no, I didn't have the head, but I was just posing with my baton and the castle is in the background. So that's where the castle is from. Like, if you've seen the picture, like if you look at the second link in the description and basically my school community, then in like I have a video on my about page, my sales page, and on that video I have a thumbnail of, or if you don't even open the school, if you just open like the shorts on my channel, then on my only one short on this channel, it is a photo of me with castle in the background, sun in the background, me posing in the fucking sky on a hill, fucking hill, kilometer up high, with a baton. It looks so cool. So that's where this photo is from. A co-worker from this whole entire story who worked for these witches took it. So now you know lore of that picture. That's so cool. And yeah, do you know who is the guy on the thumbnail of, actually I fixed my thumbnail, but I have my thumbnail on my like YouTube channel. And it's a bunch of images, and one of them is a campfire with a guy next to a campfire. The co-worker is the guy next to that campfire. That's some ancient fucking lore. Now you know where that campfire is from. Yeah, that campfire, it's in the camp of the farm of the witch. And the guy is the guy from this story. And yeah, we talked about business, we talked about interesting things, we then went down and we had a campfire, which was really cool. So after this, I basically realized I'm a slave and they don't want to pay me anything. And that both the witch and both the older woman, her mother, are complete witches. And the other word which rhymes with witches, which starts on B. And basically he told me, bro, okay, you get food and housing, but the amount of physical labor with fucking hammer you do for building the fences, the stuff you do, it's a lot. You are worth a lot more money that you are getting paid if you're literally not getting any money. You're literally a slave to them. It's like not healthy, and like I understand you fall in love with her, but like she's completely false. You shouldn't just forget her, bro. Like complete honest advice, and I agreed with him. So I had this plan of like, yeah, actually I wanted to leave many times before on that farm. Many times I wanted to leave, but I couldn't because I didn't have the money for a train or a bus ticket. I'm not joking. I went to the farm with my last money in my pocket, and the only way I could literally leave would be like calling my parents like, yo, look, I'm working for 3 months straight on a farm, but I don't have money after 3 months of working on a farm to leave the farm. You understand? I couldn't do that. So I just didn't do that. I don't know. Yeah, maybe they would give me some money to leave, but you cannot call your parents like, look, I've been working for 3 months, and I need money in order to have enough money for a train ticket to leave my fucking job. So I couldn't leave that farm. I was literally trapped. I was depressed. I hated it, but I literally couldn't leave because I didn't have the money to leave. So I developed a plan. I need to get some money. So I started to be like, yo, give me like how do you call it, zaloha, like some money beforehand. Like I don't need entire paycheck like for the entire month of work here. I just want like some money. It's called zaloha. It's like the money you get before paycheck, which is cut from your paycheck. I just wanted some money. What I literally wanted was like I told them I want like it's how much, it's like tell you 1,000, not 1,000, way less, 800 euros. No, I'm completely not 1,000. 80 euros, 50 to 80 euros, like very little money, like very very little money. I wanted as much money as I would make working in a supermarket for 2 days. That's how much money I wanted. And the witch was like, okay, but now I have to count your hours first, I have to do this and whatever. So I told her, okay, I don't need you to count it, I just want this small amount of money for train, which I didn't tell her. So I told, okay, I'm not in a hurry, you take your time, you can count it, whatever, but I don't need you to count it, I just want some money. Then in few days, I asked her again, like, no, I didn't start counting it yet because I have this thing and that thing. Then I asked her a few days again, and she was like, no, I'm going to go to this event on the weekend and I cannot do it because I can, but I don't want to. Then, when she was on the event, I was like protesting with the female co-worker, like, look, I don't want to fucking work until I get my money. Like, the smallest amount of money which I need to pay for my phone and my, how do you call it, insurance and whatever. And she called her and she was like, no, I'm on this action and why would I care about your money when I'm enjoying myself in this event on my weekend? Yeah, you told me week beforehand that you need your money for phone or for some shit. And I had a week for it. But no, I postponed it because I had some event coming up, and then I knew that you need the money, but no, I'm on this event right now and I don't want to ruin my weekend by counting. I didn't want to count anything, I just wanted some fucking money for my official story for my phone, like the operator, the phone services. So eventually and afterwards, after the event, she was like, after the event, that I'll talk about it later. So during this, I went to this witch's mother to work there for some reason. And she like understood that I'm frustrated that she doesn't want to pay me, the witch. So for the months of work which I did there, she paid me like the money I needed for the train. That the perfect amount, the amount I asked for. It was very little money compared to the work I did there, but I'm eternally grateful for it because her my language is just dying. Like I'm recording for 6 hours now. After the podcast, it's like 7th hour. Go and speak for 7 hours straight. Holy hell! But she was not meant to pay me. The witch was meant to pay me for the work I do for her mother. So her mother was not meant to pay me. So, and she still paid me because she saw that I was frustrated or some shit. So I am grateful for it. Yeah, it was little, but still, she didn't need to give me anything. I didn't have a deal with her. I had a deal with which that I will have this much money per hour and that she will cut the food which she buys me from that money. And not with the mother, but the mother paid me. Like, it's not that much, but she did pay me. And that helped me incredibly, and I'm grateful for it. Thank God. So, now I had money for a train. And I remember I was just planning I will leave the farm because I'm being complete slave. And I was depressed. I didn't like the disrespect I was getting from the witch and not getting paid. And it was getting colder, so I was no longer enjoying the summer anyway. And that other coworker, which was very fun to chill out with, was going to leave soon. And yeah, if he's leaving, then I don't want to stay here either. I don't want to be left behind with these people in winter. So I thought to myself, I don't know, I guess I will leave. And I remember the last night at that witch's mother's house. It was so beautiful. I was looking at the stars next to the cage with the chickens. I remember it so vividly. Working there at their house, and the cage with the chickens, and me lying and looking at the stars, and the horses in the background. My God, that's so beautiful. I'm shitting on this experience and on these people, but I'm so glad I had the opportunity to be there. I will remember it until I die. hmm So I was deciding, do I leave or do I not leave? And I had this plan, if I decide to leave, then it's very far away from the city where the trains or buses are, and there are no buses nearby. So someone needs to take me by car, because walking by foot is possible, it's several hours, but with all my baggage, with all my clothing, and my glasses for raw milk, and my raw honey and stuff, which I got, I wouldn't be able to walk. Like, I really wasn't able to walk that big of a distance with that amount of weight. So my thought was like, if I want to leave, then I will get that co-worker, that one with whom I went to the castle, convinced me that I'm basically a slave and I should stand up for myself and have some dignity and not be a complete slave, like leave. Then I would call him and he would like pick me. He was at the witch's mother's house and he would drive there and he would pick me up from the farm and get me to the train station and I would pay him for the gas. And yeah. So I was in a dilemma, like, do I do it? Like, yeah, these people treat me like shit, but I'm somewhat trauma bonded to them. And I love the starry sky, and I love living in that Marigotka. I love the castle in the background. I love taking care of the horses. I cuddled with the horses. It was very fun. It was a beautiful chapter of my life to live there, even though they were treating me like shit sometimes. So I was torn between leaving and not leaving. So eventually, I had the money to leave. I could leave because I had the money already. So I didn't need any more money. So I was just trying to convince myself that I'm not a complete slave. I reduced the amount of money I wanted for a week. For a week, I wanted, after a month of work, when my hands would literally bleed, like hard physical labor, which would be incredibly difficult for me if I didn't have 2 meters. Thank God I have 2 meters. Insane amount of work. Like, I worked way more than I cost these women by paying for my food, because they just bought me raw lard, which is extremely cheap, then the cheapest raw meat from the butchery, and then raw milk, which was extremely cheap, and then some free raw eggs from their farm. Yeah, it wasn't free. I did cost them some money, I agree. I wasn't free and cheap and anything. But the amount of work I did for them, I completely paid for my food and had much more money on my name in that work. So I will not want salary of working 2 days in a supermarket from her, even though I told her I needed money. I will want only like 20 euros. Literally, it's less than 20 euros. 500 crowns. I want 20 euros. I got money from your mother, but I want to pay for my phone or some shit. 20 euros. I worked there for 3 months, and 2 of them were for free, okay, but this 1 month was meant to be paid. And you could also look at that month before when I literally told them, you don't need to pay me. It's on the house, all the work I did, and I did a lot of work. 20 fucking euros. Like, please give me 20 euros. Like, that's such a low testosterone request. I was, like, backed into a corner, like, can I please, after getting my hands bleeding because I work for you for a month when I'm supposed to get paid, can I please get 20 euros? I was such a pussy to ask for so little. But, I kid you not, 20 fucking euros. Anything I missed? Hold on. You better like stand up because you are going to fall into your chair, or you should sit down because you are going to stand out of your chair after you hear what happened after I told her that I want 20 euros. I can get to it. I've covered everything. Yeah, this is a big day for the unemployed, honestly, to know what did Dirk Hangdrum do in this summer. You have to be very unemployed to get this far in this video. If you're unemployed, based. So, this is so comic, like, I cannot believe that there is someone watching a 3-hour long YouTube video of an unemployed guy talking about his novel which he experienced with a woman with horses after telling you how he tried to be Jordan Belfort. That's so goddamn funny. Like God is looking at me and is like, yeah, that's exactly why I created that guy. Holy shit, keep going. Bro, so I was meant to do some work. I came from the witch's mother and I was meant to do some work, and I was like, can I please get 20 euros? You told me that you will do it at end of the week, you didn't do it, then on the weekend you said you will do after the weekend. No, after the weekend you say, yeah, before she told me, yeah, I will do it later in the week. Then later in the week she said, I cannot do it now because I'm before this event. Then at that event, she said, I cannot do it because I'm at the event. And after the event, she told me, I don't want to do it because I'm just chilling after doing the event. Just such a complete big nose person. Holy hell. Well, then I told her, then she wanted me to do something. And I was like, no, I will not do it. I will not work for you anymore until you give me 20 euros for working for a fucking month here. I don't care how much I ate, how much you need to count, and whatever. Like, you need to count my hours and bullshit which you barely even keep track of. Like, when I do any kind of work, you barely keep track if I'm working or not. Like, you absolutely don't. You probably don't even have track of what work I do. And you need to count my work, my food, my whatever, if you know if you can even pay me like 20 fucking euros. I just wanted 20 euros for working for a month there. And I said, I'm not working anymore until you give me 20 euros for my phone. That's it. She started to psychotically scream at me. She was like, I'm lazy, I'm this and that, and I'm sabotaging it, and that I'm annoying, and that I'm stressing everyone out, and that I'm worthless, and that just completely disgusting. She was screaming at, so I just left. And then she was like sending me mean SMS of being aggressive and whatever. And yeah, I was at that point I became very calm because I was like, okay, I will no longer feel bad if I leave after this. Like I was literally trauma bonded. I like these people. I like the place. I like the memories. I love it there. I when I talk about the story, I still miss the place. Like I would like to see it again, even though I will never see it again in my life, which is unfortunate, honestly. But I like yeah, I was treated like shit, but I still liked it. Like that was literally trauma bonding or some shit, and she was just so mean, and I was just so stable. Like why are you like so? I wasn't like no, that's not true, and I worked for you for a month and I deserve money. No, I was like called like okay, I don't care, but I will not work until you give me 20 euros. And I just left, and she was screaming and angry. And there was this inside joke of me, them, these women calling me unstable. Like, because I left from that work, because I was depressed and I was like emotionally drained and I didn't want to work anymore. And whatever. And because I fucking smoked cigars, because chain smoked cigars because I was depressed. I was emotionally unstable. They kept making jokes on me being unstable. And I like told her like look at how aggressive I in SMS, like look at how aggressive you are and look at how calm I am. You are the unstable one here. And she was like the just because I'm mean and I'm screaming and whatever, then it doesn't mean that I'm not stable and calm inside. Like what? Bro, if you are screaming and aggressive and whatever, if you cannot control yourself, then you are not stable inside neither. And this impulsive aggressive behavior was probably caused by them consuming fermented fruit juice, which fruit juice makes you emotional. Fermented fruit juice the most. Like Edginus talked about monkeys, this kind of monkey, getting high on fermented fruits and it making them crazy and then going on killing rampages throughout the jungle, killing anything and not even eating it. Like fermented fruit juice will make you crazy. That's what he talked about. And I could see it with this woman, with the witch. Because it like stimulates your nervous system in some weird way, like the alcohol and the sugar and just it's just bad for you. So yeah, she screamed at me like fuck, so I went on the highest hill there. I watched the sunset. It was beautiful. I packed my bags. And yeah, she told me, you are so annoying and you annoy me and blah 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 and you are such worthless, lazy, blah blah blah. So I texted her, I'm sorry. I will not annoy you anymore. And she texted me something good. But I hope it doesn't mean something stupid, like that you are going to leave or something, because it sounds like that. And I read that and I was laughing like, yes, you dumb witch, it means exactly that. So I packed my bags, I called that guy, like, bro, pick me up tomorrow at 4 a.m. at the farm. Like, we texted each other, he was like, the sooner the better, because of my job. Like, I don't mind waking up soon, so yeah. He maybe it was 5 a.m. or something. They picked me up and got me on the train. And afterwards, the witch arrogantly texted me like, "So what? Are you still not going to work until I give you 20 euros? Are you still going to be in rebellion, a child throwing a tantrum mode, or are you going to be a man and simply work? Like, are you going to be sabotaging us or are you going to work now?" So arrogant. I didn't respond, and like sometime afterwards they found out that I left because I wasn't living with these people. They were living uphill very high, like 15 minutes uphill, steep uphill. It's like one time it's like 15 minutes by foot, but I ran it one time in 5 minutes and I could do it while nose breathing only. It was brutal accomplishment, honestly. But yeah, I lived very far away from them. I lived below them. Like they had toilet, they had electricity, they had frigid, everything. I had this wooden room on wheels, and each time I went to work, I had to walk 15 minutes uphill. I was far away from them. And they would have their lovers dry up there, and they will just sleep together, all together, have fun, have parties, whatever. I was down there, under the hill. So it took some time before they before they found out I'm gone. Yeah, that's funny actually. One of their lovers actually was there one time, several times, many times, and it pissed me off sometimes. But near the end, I was so used to it. I was not in love with her anymore, and I literally chatted with one of her lovers. Like, he had a cigarette. No, actually, I gave him my cigar. I had a cigar. We smoked a cigar together. We drove our car for some like, I need to get my stuff down, and then we chilled together, we chat together, and actually, I understood with that lover more. I had more, not more in common, but it was more chill hanging out with him than with the witch. It was very fun. And what I found is that when we met next to that campfire, when I told that I will probably leave because I don't enjoy being a cuck, when he was there, he saw the older lover of that woman, and he saw him hugging and cuddling with that witch. It turns out that lover of that witch, he didn't actually know that she has more lovers than just him. She has like 6 lovers. And he told me, yeah bro, the other guy who was with us next to that campfire, I'm incredibly jealous of him because he was hugging the witch. He was jealous of this other lover because he was hugging her and he didn't understand why. And he didn't even know that he's sleeping with her as well, and that she's sleeping with 5 other men at least. Like, most of her lovers probably don't know about the other lovers. She's like hiding it. That's such a disgusting relationship dynamic. Wow. Like, even her lovers are jealous of her other lovers, even when they don't know they are lovers, just seeing them hug that woman. How will they feel if they will know that 6 other people are sleeping with that woman? That's dark. That's very dark. Wow. I'm so glad that I had no chance to be with that woman. I'm so goddamn glad that she absolutely didn't like me falling in love with her. I'm so glad that she wasn't into me. Thank gods. Thank gods. Holy hell. Wow. I would not want to be part of that. Wow. So yeah, I left. And what is the point of this story? What should you learn from my mistakes? Stay away from a woman with horses. Now, there's a nuance to it. It's not like, oh, I had one bad experience with a woman with horses and it was extremely bad. And that means that everyone should stay away from women with horses. No, it goes much deeper. It's not just because of this one experience. It's before I was in a group chat in Discord, like years and years ago, with wise people who have like my circle of people. And there was this guy who had some woman which was connected to horses. And I don't remember why, but basically they broke up and there was some problems, and the guy said, stay away from women with horses, years ago. And when I was in these mountains before this farm, and I was messaged by this horse woman, this horse roaming woman, and I thought I will probably fall in love with her. Then I remembered advice of my friend, stay away from women with horses at all costs, and I was like, bro, that guy who said you should stay away from women with horses, he's fat, and I believe he's like got some health issues. So I'm complete opposite of that guy. Like that guy, he's fat, he's unsuccessful, he's balding, whatever. So I shouldn't listen to his advice because I'm completely different. I don't want to follow advice of someone who is not where I want to be. He's complete opposite of where I want to be, so I should do opposite of what he says. That's what I thought. But later I came to agree with him. Like, yeah, I should have stayed away from women with horses. Now it's not only this. I had a cousin who also had a woman with horses, and eventually they broke up. And what happened is that one time my cousin tried to strangle his woman with horses. I don't know why. I don't remember the details. I don't know if he tried to kill her or not by the strangling. But he's a chill guy. I know him, my cousin, like, I don't know him like deeply or whatever, but he's not aggressive at all. He's very chill and calm. He always, when there's a fight or something, he just walks away. He doesn't care. He likes to go on hikes. He's not silent a weirdo. He gets drunk and he's social and he's just open and all. But if this guy tried to strangle his woman, I don't know what happened, but probably something crazy. And she was a woman with horses, so that's one advice from a guy. Then this thing with my cousin, and then this co-worker with whom I went to the castle, he talked about basically the witch's mother was a complete bitch as well, and she was a woman with horses. So that's another woman with horses. Then this is so funny, woman with horses, bro. Then he worked for another woman with horses somewhere completely else. And that woman with horses would be literally like buying cheap clothing and jewelry from India and selling it. And like her daughter, like on markets, she would be selling stuff on markets. And her daughter would like take some piece of jewelry which cost her like few euros from India. And she was playing with it. And she would be like, you cannot play with it. That's in my store or something. And she will be basically dirty rich. She will be almost a millionaire. She will make so much goddamn money. She had so much property. And this guy was working for her. And even though she was so rich and he was doing so much work for her, this woman with horses with whom he was working besides these witches, she was like, you are too expensive and I don't know if I want to pay you. And she was just mean, and he like described a lot of issues with that person. She was like spoiled character. She was like arrogant, and like it was his dream to visit India, and she does retreats in India. And he asked if he could like, no, she asked him like, do you want to come to India with me? Like, he works for her for years, and he's like her friend and whatever. She even wanted to be like his girlfriend, even though she's too old and he wasn't interested. But he was like, do you want to go to India with me? And he was like, yeah, but... And she was like, yeah, but it will cost you this much money. And it was like basically the price she charges to everyone else, like rich tourists, but like slightly smaller. And the price was like 2,000 euros or something like that. Like a lot. I don't remember everything, but we talked a lot about our employers, and basically it was a complete witch as well. That person with horses. So yeah, I know a lot of people who have bad experience with women with horses, and I'm among them. And the experience which I had was crazy. And yeah, I will just take advice from that one friend from back in time. Stay away from women with horses. I should have known better. I should have stayed away from women with horses. Yeah. Then there is this saying in Czech Republic called it's kind of disgusting and it's kind of ugly, but I will say it. It's holkám od koní, čurák nevoní. Yeah, I said it in Czech, it's whatever, but now I will be demonetized or something. But it's translated like, women with horses don't like, I don't want to say because I don't like, I don't like swearing and using like ugly, dirty, improper words, but it means like women with horses don't like men, basically. It's not men, it's something else which men have, which women with horses don't supposedly like, according to that saying. But basically, women with horses don't like men, and it's very common. The saying is very common among Czech people, and a lot of Czech people know it. And I don't know why. There is just something about the woman with horses which makes the lore among them, like the aura, the egregor of women with horses, being universally like deemed as dangerous by all Czech people all around me. So I don't know. There is no objective fact why women with horses are like dangerous or you should stay away from them. But like from vague common knowledge and experiences of many people, it's just safer to stay away from women with horses. Now there's a caveat. In order to ride a horse, you have to be badass. Like, I respect anyone who can ride a horse, women as well. Women who ride horses, it's incredible to ride horses, without a saddle especially. Women with horses are most likely better people. I don't know if better people, but more respectable than NPCs who have never raised a single animal. To care for horses and to ride them, and to have the connection with a horse, it's brutal, it's epic. If you're a woman who has horses, then cool, you're an epic person, whatever. I respect women with horses. But just because women with horses are cool people or can be respectable people, it doesn't mean that you want to be exposed to them. Like, if I'm not saying women with horses are bad people, but if you are a young man trying to make it in the world and trying to find some place to work at or trying to meet some people, then it's safer to stay away from women and horses. They are not bad people. I'm not hating on them. They can be good people. Maybe you can meet very good people with them, but very likely if you are exposed to some woman with horses and the possibility of coexisting with a woman with horses, it can turn out in a very unpleasant way. Just don't do it likely. Though there is a caveat. Another thing not mentioned, but which I noticed, is that people with cows, especially women with cows, are the best and nicest people ever. People who have cattle, who have cows for milk especially, not even milk, but any cows, even if it's for meat or milk. People with cows are the nicest people ever, and women with cows are the best and nicest and calmest people ever. Like, most charismatic and sympathetic people, and I'm not saying good looking, like even if a woman is bad looking, then their character is just so pure if they raise cows. Like, women from cows are so good. Like, they are the polar opposite of women with horses, women with cows. It's completely different energy. It's like, phone died again. I'm trying to record. I don't have that much space in my phone, and at the same time, the camera app for some reason creates giant files. Like 10 minutes of recording is like 1 gigabyte. I remember when I was a child and my father used to pirate movies, like download movies illegally. You could have a 3-hour-long movie in top quality and it would have like 3 megabytes. This phone records camera recording, which is completely terrible. It's like zero quality. It's terrible. You are probably not even looking at the screen because of how bad it is. You are just listening to the audio. And This shit quality recording will have 1 gigabyte per 10 minutes. How? So, women with horses, they might even be like somewhat stronger than women with cows. They are different. They are like more wild. They are more Dionysian, this Dionysian lunar quality, while women with cows are more orderly and light. Like, yes, literally. Women with horses are more like a full moon, and women with cows are literally like sunshine. I'm not kidding. Women with cows are literally like sun. Like, they are calm, orderly, radiant, they are Apollonian. Well, women with horses are Dionysian, wild, and untamed, and strong, and whatever. It's respectable. If you are a woman with horses, then cool, your life can be good because of all this energy. But if you are a young man trying to make it in the world, then even though there is nothing wrong with this energy which women with horses have, you don't want to get engulfed by that energy. You don't want to be around that energy. Like, there is nothing wrong with a campfire burning, but you don't want to jump into that campfire. The same way, there is nothing wrong with women with horses existing, but you don't want to coexist with them, usually. You don't want to get, how do you say it, engaged with their energy, because it can end really badly. Very often it does happen. Though, as I told you, women with cows are really good. What happens if a woman has both cows and both horses? Well, actually, I found out that the solar aspect of raising cows in their character, it overpowers the lunar aspect of the horses. Like, if a woman has both cows and horses at the same time, then maybe I will still watch my step, but they are more likely to be like compatible. It's easier to not die because of them or something. It's fine. If a woman has both cows and horses, then she's more like a woman with cows than a woman with horses. You know, the problem probably isn't even woman with horses. It's that when woman exclusively has horses, when she's like a farmer with like cows and chickens and stuff like that, and then on the side she has a horse, then that's completely fine. But if a woman has no cows, no cattle, no chickens, no anything, she's not a farmer, but she is into riding horses, like, she doesn't even care about farming, she just wants horses, like, her life is all about riding horses, like, she likes riding horses, she just cares about horses a lot, then that might be a problem, when you might want to stay away from this kind of woman. Yeah, so women with both cows and horses, no problem, I would say. No problem. If it's horse on the side, I know a lot of people who are women with horses, but who mostly raise cows. A lot of, actually more, like, not more, and like, I'm losing my language. Basically, plenty, yeah, that's the word I could use. Plenty of women who have both horses and cows, and they are more like people with cows than people with horses. Yeah, and I know a woman who has a horse, who is probably going to crucify me if she watches this video. If you do, hi. My God. I'm so dumb. I'm literally recording for like the 7th fucking hour now. Like, yeah. Come on. I'm not even going to cut all this out. You are probably amazed. How can someone be so transparent on YouTube? How can be so... What the fuck? He's talking about not... Just the transparency and the realness of me talking about my experience. That's unheard of on YouTube, honestly. Like you can see people who are as raw as me, pun intended, but like for 20 minutes, not for 4 hours. It's so laughable. Yeah, but 5 years from now, this video will still exist on the internet. I found this so funny. God damn. So, yes, I left. And I gave you a lecture about women with horses. So, you're going to laugh at me, but I went to the Canary Islands thanks to the people who reached out onto my Facebook. Like, yeah, I was like, okay, I love this farm, and I left and I will go to the Canary Islands with you. So we are supposed to go by car to Spain, and from Spain by boat into Canary Islands. And we were like going from Slovakia, because Slovakia is my neighboring country, and the guy was Slovak, and Slovaks and Czechs can understand each other very well. So I texted him like, okay, I will come home. I came home, I packed some other stuff for Canary Islands, and then again I left home to go to Canary Islands because I had some money for a train, so I could go to the train. I took the train to Slovakia. I really liked how Slovakia looked because it was full of people who are like, if you live in first world countries and you see the cities and you see the fat people, the people with, you see how people in cities look in first world countries, just very ugly. In Slovakia it wasn't like that, probably because it's like older country with like, not older, but like less technologically advanced, which makes the people less unattractive, like better diet or something, I don't know. But I liked it, I came there, I went to the house of the person with whom I was meant to leave to the Canary Islands. And there was this other guy, other Slovak coming along the way. In this house, he had like people renting rooms or something. He had some people there. The people he was allowing to rent his house or something, they were ugly, fat, they were not white, and it was incredibly ugly. And they had some dogs, and they told, yeah, the dogs are sick, so we have to fill them with antibiotics, but they vomit the antibiotics out. It was so dark, and I could literally smell urine in the hallway, like all around the house. I smelled urine, like piss. It smelled bad. The people were like looking. I felt a very bad aura. I just didn't like it there. I was like, this is so ugly. And the guy who I'm going to Canary Islands with, he's running this place. Oh, I don't want to be with that guy in a car for a week and then go with him. My instincts tell me, I should pack up my stuff and I should leave. Like my instincts tell I don't want to be here. I should run away. I should literally pick up a phone like someone is calling me and run away back to the train station and leave and not go to the Canary Islands because I have this gut feeling I just have to leave. Like the smell, the bad environment, the bordel, the mess around the place, how the people look, the dark aura, them feeding their dogs antibiotics and then vomiting it out. The ignorance of this place is just so dark. I just came from such a dark place and now I'm here in this dark place. And I meant to go with this Slovak away. And there, the other Slovak came and he was bald, he had sunglasses and was like very distant, like he looked kind of like Andrew Tate and like, okay, that guy, cool, but I have such a bad gut feeling from this. I want to run away from this situation right now. I didn't have the money for a train ticket to run away. I went to the Canary Islands and I spent like over a month of my life somewhere because against my own will, because I couldn't run away because I didn't have the money for a train ticket. Again, I just came back from working 3 months and I even like borrowed some money from my parents for the train ticket. I couldn't like yeah I was supposed to work in Canary Islands, but I have to go back because I need some money for a train ticket. You cannot do that. I had no money for a train ticket to run away, so I literally went across half of the earth because I didn't have money for a train ticket to run away. That's so comical, but actually I'm glad that I didn't have the money because I literally would run away. I have no problem running away from a situation like that if my gut tells me to. But I'm glad because I would do it if I had the money, probably. But even especially after being traumatized from the previous experience. But I'm glad I didn't have the money, which forced me to stay in the car. So yeah, I had a cool road trip. They were driving. I was sitting back. I was just chilling. I was drinking raw eggs, eating like fruit and sometimes raw meat. I was just drinking raw eggs with some water and lemon water, like lemon water with raw eggs. That's what I was drinking. Little raw eggs, yeah. I was just sitting there and I would have like bunch of raw eggs next to me, and I would have like my hand over it, like this. Expect it was cartons with raw eggs. And there were some stories like we were in many countries, it was cool, it was nice, Italy, France, whatever. In France, in a city, there was a guy trying to warn us, you cannot park your car in here because people will break into your car. And up to that point, I've seen almost no black people anywhere in the Italy and whatever. But yeah, I did whatever. But we went to France, and suddenly there's a ton of black people there, and there's a guy warning us that we cannot park our car because people will break in it. Okay, whatever. But then we continued to Spain, and these two Slovaks were fighting a lot. Like this one Slovak just wanted to drive along, and this other Slovak wanted to stop everywhere to take pictures because he's on a vacation. He wants to go to this restaurant, this attraction, whatever, and he had like high testosterone or something. He was like aggressive, red pill, android energy, whatever. And the other Slovak, he was like, one was balding, sunglasses, and beard, and the other one, and he was like bald, like he cut all of his hair off. The other guy, he was balding as well, but his hair was very long. He looked like Rick Rubin somewhat, except he wasn't bald and hair here. He had like some leftover hairs masking the baldness, and it looked very ugly. And he was a very low testosterone, like he was slow, low energy, like no balls to stand up for himself. He was like low testosterone basically. And I'm completely done. Like I forget what I was to say half a second ago. Yeah, low testosterone. They were fighting basically, and it escalated with the higher testosterone Slovak guy fighting with the lower testosterone one because he was like, I will not drive anymore until you give me money for gas. Yeah, that was it. I want your money for gas, and until you give it to me, then I will not drive anymore. That's from the low testosterone Slovak, which might be reasonable, whatever, who cares. But it pissed off the high testosterone Slovak. He didn't assault him, he just held his hand with the keys in his hand and whatever. And that was like escalation, and they were like screaming at each other. And it was not even a fight, it was like, and I was in Spain with these two grown-ass men, balding men, fighting each other in Spain when I'm from Czech Republic with no money, and I'm just looking at it, drinking my raw eggs, sleeping and listening to audiobooks. Like, man, bro, what an odyssey, what an odyssey. So eventually that other Slovak, like, they parted their ways. Like, he was kicked out in a hotel. He was like, I don't care, I will he said it often actually, like, bro, I hang out with that guy because this Lotus of Sunra guy was literally traveling Europe, Spain, Italy, and instead of exploring the cities, he would just stay in his hotel room and be on Facebook. Okay, boomer. So I was spending time with this other guy, and he was like, "Bro, I will probably separate from this guy, from this Slovak. So I will take trains and I will take buses because I've been in these countries a lot. I experienced in traveling here with buses and trains. So I will just take trains and buses. I will probably separate." So eventually they did separate. We left that high testosterone Slovak guy in like in some city in Spain with sea, which wasn't really cool. I was there, I experienced the life. He was like, "Yo, let's go out, let's see the nightlife, whatever." I was out there, people are partying, going to clubs, eating kebab, being up until like 12 p.m. Like, there's a rich nightlife. And it's so disgusting and boring. Like, I was there with the Slovak wearing my blue blockers, and I was like, where is the fun? Like, you walk around and there are people partying or something and eating food. Like what is the purpose of it? It's just so boring. Like going into a pub in Czech Republic when it's cold outside and you go inside and you drink beer. You drink traditional beer inside when it's warm with people in a pub. That's way more entertaining and way more fun than in the warm climate in Spain, just walking around drinking some modern alcohol with sugar in the neon lights next to clubs, and that's just so boring and unentertaining. This modern kind of nightlife. I can understand pubs, but this I didn't enjoy it at all. Yeah, I noticed that northern and western Spain were really beautiful, full of statues, full of sun, full of light, full of beautiful people and everything. But southern and eastern Spain was disgusting, ugly, and dirty. And the people looked worse too. But yeah, actually western and northern Spain, it was full of beautiful people, beautiful statues, beautiful everything, cool food. Like, they ate a lot of meat there. Like, they eat, like, instead of junk food, they literally just go and buy like dried meat sandwiches all the time. It's really cool in Spain. Yeah. Then we went on a cruise ship, and on the cruise ship, I got a bunch of raw eggs. I was basically drinking raw eggs and threw it on that cruise ship. I was just all the passengers looking around. They would eat the standard food from the ship, which was disgusting, honestly. And I will just be drinking raw eggs in it, and I will never be inside of the ship. I will be all of the time. I will be outside on the ship's deck in the sunlight, sunning myself. Then when I burned myself in the sunlight, I laid on the other side so I could sunburn the other side, and then I was in shade. And I would be looking at the sunsets and sunrises. It was beautiful. And even outside, if it was pretty cold and windy, I would still sleep in my sleeping bag on the deck. And yeah, I took my sleeping bag to Canary Islands because I knew we will be traveling to Europe, and I used it 2 times. It was a lot of space in my bag, so worthless, but yeah, thanks to it I could sleep outside on the deck on the ship, which sleeping inside of the ship will be unpleasant because there was non-stop lightning on, while outside I could be in darkness. So yeah, that saved me, the sleeping bag. And other time is that when we got lost, we just randomly parked somewhere in some fucking desert ass place and we slept outside. And I used the sleeping bag there, and it was also cool. They fought eggs, yeah. I also mixed like in Spain and Spanish countries, so I have this store which is called like Mercadona, I think, and there you can get like fresh orange juice. Like, you get this machine and you press it and you get like fresh orange juice just squeezed. I had that, but orange juice fucks up, like, orange juice and fruit juices fuck up your mental health, which we've seen with The Witch. And I've heard someone with like damaged nerves who literally experienced more damage to his nerves when he consumed orange juice than when he consumed tobacco. Like Resident Raw, that YouTuber about Primal Diet, he says that orange juice makes his nervous system or whatever issue worse than like consuming nicotine. So yeah, I wouldn't drink orange juice just like that, but in that hot, humid climate, I drank it, but not alone. I always mix it with raw eggs. I had like 10 raw eggs per like liter of 10 raw, I basically mixed raw eggs to get, I drank some orange juice, and right after I will to drink raw eggs. And then after I would have space in my bottle, I will to get as many raw eggs as I could into the bottle, and I will shake it and I will drink it. And I will drink it as fast as I could, so the microplastics don't go into are not dissolved by the orange juice, because I would never pick up like orange juice in a plastic, even if it was raw, if it's there for a long time, because that means the acid is literally melting the plastic. But if you literally squeeze it into the plastic, and it's in the plastic for like 5 minutes before you drink it, then I found that acceptable for myself, even though it might not have been optimal. Hydration, basically, yeah. But mostly I had like lemon water with raw eggs. That was very cool. Yeah, then I worked there. I did some stuff with. I listened to audiobooks and I carried some wood stuff on the roof of the house. Then I worked with the like. I was getting rid of the nails from the wood. I was building stuff, basically woodwork. It was cool. It was fun. Also, I was getting some leftover garbage and helping him to get it to the like garbage collection site, or how do you call it in English? Some basic work with wood, basically. I worked for him for 10 days, and then for 5 days I had like some time off. Like I would see the sea, I would see the mountain, the highest mountain in Czech Republic. So yeah, not sorry, in Spain. So first I was in the highest farm in Czech Republic. Then I was on the highest castle in Czech Republic. And then in Canary Islands, I was on the highest mountain in Spanish territory. So all high places. I don't know, maybe my life was trying to say me something like you are aiming very high or something after this. I don't know. But yeah. I worked there, I experienced the Canary Islands. Now lemon water again. I had to hydrate with fuck ton of lemon water, and I would have it in the freezer, in the fridge. I would just have water with lemons all the time. Now, I had for food I had some seafood, and I would have like meat with raw eggs, and I would eat a fuck ton of eggs to get fat. But eventually, I found this excellent source of some Iberian pork fat. It tasted so good. It was like raw pig fat, and it tasted like butter. It was so fatty. It was almost disgusting. Like it was literally more fatty than butter. Eating it was just so satiating. Like no lard, no pig fat which I've ever had in Czech Republic was comparable to that Iberico pork fat bacon whatever. It was so fatty. You could squeeze it. It was so good. Like I ate a fuck ton of that. And I ate a ton of fruit as well. It was very cool likewise. That guy, he liked me, and like he was low testosterone and all, but he cared for me very well. He gave me enough food, and he even paid me. Like he didn't pay me like I was meant to be paid by the food, but at the same time, he paid basically for my boat ticket, for my plane ticket, for all of the gas which I went with him, for all of the food for all the time, for feeding me basically. And then after I came back home, I still had some money left over after I bought like the ticket for the bus or something. So yeah, he cared for me very well. A good person. I'm grateful for everything he gave me. Really cool. it was a good comical relief after what I went through in that in Shumava with the horsewoman. And when I was there in the Canary Islands, one of them texted me some shit. I don't know, randomly sent me an Instagram reel which was mocking biohackers with blue eye looking glasses, and the reel was saying, "Yeah, just drinking coffee and whatever. It's more better." I don't some bullshit. Just sent me that, and I was like, I was actually so traumatized on that when I left, I texted her that like I liked them, I'm glad I could work for them and slave away from them and be a complete pussy. I'm sorry that I left. Sorry. Or some bullshit like that. Not that, but like I'm not sorry that I left. I had to leave because it was just not aligned with my life goals or some shit like that. And I just wanted to leave. Yeah, but I liked being there and I'm glad for the experiences I had. I texted them some shit like that. Fuck that. I was such a pussy. But she told me like, yeah, I didn't even read it because it's too long or something. And she sent me some Instagram reel to mock me or some shit. I sent her a picture of me on a beach doing like this pose, like looking pretty cool. And I looked at the temperature in the city where they lived, and that day it was like 5 degrees Celsius and raining. So instead of responding to anything she said to me, I sent her a picture of me on the beach, doing like with a cool face. Well, it was raining at 5 degrees in city nearest to their farm. And I texted them, "I hope you are cold." In plural, like I hope you two are cold. And then she responded like, "No, we are warm and everything. It's pleasant here." Some bullshit. I didn't respond afterwards. This is me the next morning, and I remembered something really cool, which I would like to tell you about all that. She wrote to me in her SMS, the witch, the older one, that the reason she didn't want to give me money is that she knew instinctively that if she gave me any money, then I would leave. So, she pretty much understood or knew or something that I wanted to leave. I wanted to run away, but I literally didn't have the money to run away. And she didn't want to pay me because she realized that I felt so bad there that if I got some money and I would be able to leave, then I would leave. She knows I don't want to be here and that I want to run away. And she knows that if I get money, I will run away if it's possible. So she is keeping me there like some fucking slave, like that's brutal. Like when I learned this, that she knew that I will run away when I will get money, like doesn't she feel bad for herself or something? Wow, that's brutal. Like she was this aware of how I felt there or something. She knew that I will go away if I will get the money from her. So, bro, she was fine with me being in conditions in which I wanted to leave. She was just not fine with me. Yeah, she was fine with having me there in conditions that make me want to leave. That was fine for her. But what was not fine for her was me having any resources which would make me possible for me to leave. But as long as it's not possible for me to leave, even though I want to, it's okay. I was her fucking slave at that point, basically. Disgusting. And then, yeah, I actually apologized to that other woman, to that co-worker, because she was a cooler person. She was just, she didn't do me any harm. When I told her that I'm not going to work until I get paid by that wage, it caused her plenty of stress. And afterwards, I had mercy on her, and I did work, and I did help her with some work when that witch wasn't there yet. because she had to have that work done, and I wanted to help her because I'm not a complete scumbag. And I apologized to her like, I'm sorry for the stress I caused you. Like, I'm not sorry for not working when Baron came, but when the witch came, but when you were there, then yeah, maybe I shouldn't have stressed you so much with refusing to work. Yeah, whatever. Sorry for the stress I caused you. And she was like, she was, instead of like, okay, accept it, she was like some bullshit like, you're annoying and blah blah blah, and you still caused me the stress, you didn't want to work, and some bullshit. Like, look at me, I was so harmed and you are to blame. I don't know, I don't care. So I responded, I hope that witch, I called her by name, I hoped the witch, let's say her name was Petra or some shit, I hope Petra enjoys having 20 euros more than having me work for her or something like that. I said it better, like, I hope she enjoys saving 20 euros more than having me there or something like that. In Czech language it sounded colder, real better, it sounded like real cool. And she was like, well, it was literally over a month afterwards, and she was like, well, we don't actually know if we saved the 20 euros. We didn't count yet if we saved the money. Like, we don't know if you made more money than the food that you ate or some shit. So, yeah. She talked about she said, when we count the money which you made and which you ate, then we will see if we actually saved the 20 euros. 20 euros after a month of working there, like, holy shit. Such juice, come on, bro. And after a month, she told me that they didn't count yet if I made the money. Like, it was like I didn't even want them to count it, but like, she was like, yeah, I will count it first, then I will pay you. And month after I left, they still didn't count it. Man, lol. And she was like, if it turns out we saved the 20 euros, then we will enjoy it more than you, and we will enjoy our 20 euros by going out for a lunch to a restaurant without you annoying us or something like that. So, yeah, a cool thing is I had no acne. When I eat too much fruit, even in summer, then because of the insulin or something, I don't know, the fructose does something to me, I get acne. In winter, I have to be ketogenic to not get acne, but in summer, I can do carbs and some fruit, but not too much. But still, if I do too much fruit, I get acne. The sun there was so strong, I could eat as much fruit as I wanted, and I had like almost no acne at all, probably no acne at all. Sun is very strong against acne. I even heard, I have a friend who is like acne from anything. He can be strict, primal, whatever, he has acne. He says when he goes to Mexico, to the tropics, he can eat seed oil garbage and not have acne at all. Sunlight is extremely powerful. I'm not a fan of Jack Cruz and prioritizing light over. You know, my phone keeps dying. I mean, it doesn't die, but I don't have enough space in my phone, so I always have to like upload one of the video I have scheduled and then delete it and move it from my SD card elsewhere, so I have the space in my phone to do this. And yeah, when I have this long of a script, like, this is not a script, these are points, and like every word or every few words I write down is a point about which I have like few minutes of things to say about. So when I write down this, and after about each thing, about each word I can speak for a few minutes, then I should probably prepare for like 4 hours of space of recording. So I end that moving to the tropics is probably very fucking healthy for you. Moving to somewhere where there is strong sun is healthy. Or if you live in Europe, then during the summer, live in the mountains when it's a bit colder. I don't necessarily think colder is better or healthier, but you have way more UV light in the mountains, even in Europe. If you go in middle of the summer to the mountains in Europe, then the light which you will get will probably be comparable to tropical sunlight. Honestly, yeah, you can get tropics in Europe, and you are not even going to feel like you're dying of heat. That's very cool. Mm-hmm. Cold water. Yeah, I try to do cold exposure. Like that Slovak guy was like, when we went to the ocean, he was like, "Oh no, the water is so cold. It's unpleasant and whatever." It will never be too cold. Like it's so hot and sunny and whatever. It will never feel like the ocean is too cold. It will feel pleasant if it's colder. And I only did cold showers. It barely felt cold at all compared to when you do them in Europe. And one time I like disabled the thing for warming the water, and he didn't notice it for a longer time. Sorry, battery. So he didn't do anything about it. But he would just wash himself in shower. But the pipes would get warm even if his water wouldn't be getting warmed because the pipes will get warm from the sun. But once he like took shower in the morning and the water was cold. And he was like, "Oh no, it's so cold and unpleasant and whatever." Blah, blah, blah. Just he was just being a complete wimp. Like I'm not an advocate of cold exposure, but seeing that guy be in the Canary Islands when there is like 30 degrees at night Celsius, and complain that the cold shower is too cold and that he was cursing me for turning the heat off. Like if you are in the Canary Islands and cold shower is too cold for you, then you are a pussy and you should do a lot of cold exposure to make your mitochondria to produce more heat or something. Like I'm not an advocate of cold exposure, but at some point there is a limit to which you actually should be cold adapted in order not to be a complete wimp. And if you feel cold in Canary Islands while doing a cold shower, then you are a wimp and you should do cold exposure until you stop being a complete woman about the cold. It's not cold, it's refreshing, it's warm outside, holy hell. You know about when you wake up too soon, before your alarm clock, and your body temperature, when you go to sleep it drops and then it raises when you wake up. If you wake up before your alarm clock, then your body temperature will not warm up yet, and you will feel colder because of it. Well, in the Canary Islands, it didn't matter. If I woke up too soon, then it will be so warm. Then my body temperature not being warm enough yet, it will be completely insignificant. If you compare it with waking up to school or to work in winter, that's fucking unpleasant. But in the Canary Islands, people have it easy because it's so warm. It's so easy if you feel cold and it's warm. Who cares? Who cares? It's so warm. Though at some point the heat was unbearable. Like I was able to work very hard physically, shirtless out there, and I would sweat a bit on my forehead and whatever, yeah. But I barely sweat. While that guy, when he was helping me, he would be drenched in sweat. In Czech Republic, I barely sweat in summer. It's easy for me to sweat when I get too warm, when I get into a hot bath, or when I have a bunch of clothing and I walk uphill, then I sweat a lot. When I get too warm and I have clothing to trap the heat. But in summer, when I'm shirtless, it's very easy for me to handle the heat. I can work shirtless outside in middle of the summer and middle of the noon. And if I'm adapted to the sun and I don't get sunburned, then I can do that. But I'm just so well adapted to heat. Probably because of doing hot baths, Angela style. I talked about this in many videos. You do 49 to 42 degrees water for hours with some pauses for cold showers in between. That makes you so heat adapted because you are so hot. So I'm heat adapted. I cannot feel too warm in Europe. But in the Canary Islands, it was too much. It's a complete desert. Traveling in the car, people don't have dark colored cars in Canary Islands. No black cars because they trap too much heat. All of them have like lighter cars, white cars. And there was like over 40 degrees. I remember I was never getting sunburned. I only got sunburned like one day when I was outside in the noon and it was 40 degrees Celsius. And I felt like, maybe I'm not so good at handling heat because I feel unpleasant today because of the heat. But it was over 40 degrees. So I'm like, oh, okay, therefore it's completely okay for me to not be okay with the heat. Yeah, I guess. And yeah, it was just very hot, very painful, not painful, but in the car, traveling in the car, it was brutal, yeah. But the thing is, at night, it was 30 degrees. At night, at like midnight, at like 11 p.m., 30 degrees. 30 degrees is in Czech Republic in noon, in the sun. 30 degrees in the noon, in the summer. In Canary Islands, you randomly have 30 degrees in the night. And like it was like 13 degrees less than during the day. And still it's 30 degrees during the night. I couldn't believe it. Like, I didn't believe the temperature. I thought it was like 20 something. I couldn't fathom or believe the fact that it can be 30 degrees when the sun is down. That after sunset it can be warmer than during the sun being outside in Europe. Like, I couldn't believe it, the temperature, yeah. I'm so heat adapted, but at that point, it was, yeah, the heat was unpleasant, really. When I came home, I craved cold exposure. I just wanted to get cold, and I was like, hell yeah, I love Europe and I love getting cold. I love being in cold water and I love doing cold. I was just obsessed with cold exposure. I was trying to cool down. And I loved the fact that I was getting cold outside. I'm built for this climate, I guess. Actually, I might be like some Swedish ancestry because like I look like a Swede and some Swedes conquered, or like during the 30 Years War, Swedes were fighting around the area where I'm from, so yeah, I might be Swedish. So I might even be adapted to colder environments, but yeah, I hate cold, I love sun, I like heat, but European sun, that's great. I love when it's more pleasant to be in the sun than in the shade, so I crave the sun. But in the Canary Islands there is so much sun that it's more pleasant to be in the shade than in the sun. And therefore sun becomes no longer so much fun to get, like in Europe. When you crave sun, so it's more fun to be in the sun. So you enjoy it more. A funny story is, we went to this all-you-can-eat place, where basically you pay some fee and you go to this buffet and you can eat anything in there, like as much as you want after you pay that one-time price. There was raw meat in there, and you were supposed to go to the cook and he will like sear it and cook it, and he will tell him, okay, I want it a bit more seared, or I want it rare, or whatever. You're supposed to put it on your plate, go to the cook, and he will cook it for you, and he will basically cook it for you, and then you will eat it. Obviously, I took it raw. I took all the squids of the meat and I took it and I ate it raw. Of course I did. And afterwards, the staff would come to me, sir, these things are actually raw. You cannot eat them raw. You have to cook them. Like, do you know that it's dangerous and whatever? We are so sorry that we don't have a sign there. Like, you were supposed to know. Like you have to cook it and whatever. I was like, it's okay. I eat it raw on purpose. I know it's raw. It's okay. And I wasn't going to tell to some random NPCs working there, which I will never meet again, about raw meat being healthy. I just didn't care. I was just, it's okay. In my country, we eat raw seafood all the time because I was eating like squid. So no, it's okay. It's safe. It's okay. In my country, it's normal to eat raw seafood, to eat raw meat and whatever. And they asked me from what country am I? So I already said seafood, raw seafood. Well, Czech Republic doesn't have any sea, therefore no seafood. I have a hole in the paper from like grabbing it too much. So I couldn't say Czech Republic because we don't have the sea. So I said Oh yeah, I'm from Croatia. I was pretending I'm from Croatia because that's another Slavic country. Well, Czech Republic isn't Slavic, it's like Celto-Germanico-Slavic and even has some Latin in it, but Slavic language. So I said I'm from Croatia, like Patrick Evan 23 on Instagram, because it has the sea, so Slavs with the sea, like yeah, we eat seafood, raw seafood in Croatia all the time. So I ate raw seafood there, that was funny. Then I have a video about having a history with Hare Krishnas. I will not talk about it here. It's 1 hour long video. I will not. This video is already like 4 fucking hours. I will not talk about Hare Krishnas, but I had a video about Hare Krishnas on YouTube. It's like the second video on channel or something. You can watch it. Well, basically, when I went to Canary Islands, I was interested in meeting the Hare Krishnas in Canary Islands because I know the Hare Krishnas in Czech Republic and I go to their events. It's kind of fun. So I went to the Canary Island Hare Krishnas and behold, their fucking cook was Czech, like me, and like the Hare Krishnas from Czech Republic. I don't know why, but yeah, Czech Hare Krishna cook. Like, what are the odds of a Czech cook being in the Hare Krishna restaurant in Canary Islands? And me, a Czech, like meeting him there. Like, it was very, very interesting. So, there was this Harinam. It's basically when they chant Hare Krishna and dance and play their instruments and whatever in the streets. It's like, it's religious or whatever. I don't follow their religion. I just do it for fun. It's fun when you dance with people out there, and it's fun. It's fun. It's fun in Czech Republic, in the cold Czech Republic where people are in their cold like clothing and they don't care and whatever. In Canary Islands, where it's warm and everyone is drunk and on a vacation and whatever, it was very, very fun. Like, I would be dancing a lot, people would be buying books from the Hare Krishna. It was so fun, it was so cool. Like, all the dancing, all the power, all the music, the singing, the color, the lights, the sunset, the beach along which we walked. It was very funny. Like, I'm not a fan of black people, but there was this funny moment. I should fucking censor it. Like, I'm sorry, like, my brain is not working anymore. I'm recording for fucking 8 hours, but sorry. But there was this funny moment of black people coming and like they were high on the weed. You could smell the weed and they were high. From their behavior you could see it. And they would like sing, the Hare Krishnas would sing and dance and whatever. These black people would come and they would dance to it. Like they would be really happy and high and dancing to the Hare Krishna music. And they would be like making like the melody of, they will be singing Hare Krishna along with the Hare Krishnas. And it was just so comical to behold these high black people sing with Hare Krishnas and dance. And then when they left, they were like, Hare Krishnas were doing like melody, like Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And when the black people were leaving, or when we met them again, they were like, na 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 na. They were mimicking the melody of the Hare Krishnas. It was so funny. And at one point, I don't have a place where to show you on camera, but I can do kazatsky kick, kazachok. Basically, that Slavic dance when you are basically like this, and you like, it's hard to do on a couch, but I can do this very fucking well. And I did that to the Hare Krishna songs. I was just dancing like the kazachok, like the Slavic dance, the kick dance, and very properly. And the black people were just high, and they were like, they will do a circle around me. And they were doing like, in a rap video, when someone is rapping, and a black person is doing like, ho, 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 whoa, whoa, like with your hand, like in the rap, like, doo, doo, and doing like, ho, ho. So I was dancing to the Hare Krishna music. I was a Czech Viking in Canary Islands near Africa, dancing to Indian religious music played by Slavs, and I was encircled by black people who were high on plant from Asia, and they would be doing like ho 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 around me when I was doing the kazachok. It was so surreal. It was so goddamn cool. It was so fun. Like dancing the kazachok, and these people were just going ho ho. It was so fucking cool. Like I'm I'm so my life is so full of magnetic. How the hell do I even describe experience? I'm just so magnetic for these kinds of experiences. Yeah, so fun. If you want to know more about Hare Krishnas, then you can check out my Hare Krishna video. I have more stories with Hare Krishna. It's cool, yeah. And actually, in the Hare Krishna video and in the I got kicked out of school for eating raw meat video, in these videos, I'm on the farm, like next to the Maringotka, where I lived with the witch. Like these two videos, it's on the property, on the farm of the witch. That's just some lore you might wanna know. Yeah, then I went to Taida, to that mountain. Like, it was very cold there, and I loved it. Like, I was in the heat all the time, and then we went like 2 kilometers uphill or more, and the views were awesome for a second. It was very cold. Like, there were tourists wearing like almost winter clothing, and I was not like in shorts, and I was like, oh, finally, it's fucking cold and I can cool down. Like, hell yeah, my Viking jeans are waiting for this. Everyone was like cold, but I felt warm. And at the same time, there was the nearly tropical sunlight. In this elevation, it was very strong. I almost got sunburned, so very cool. Yeah, we went for a cool walk there. Yeah, good memories, man. So, then I went home after the Canary Islands. I can continue the story. Cool thing, yeah. I worked in this forest work school. Yeah, I basically went by plane home. I seen Europe. It was beautiful. I went home, yeah. Then I was home. Now, I was supposed to go to work in the forest for my ex-classmate from my forest work school when we like did chainsaw stuff. He was like, yo, I will hire you to work for me. So I counted on that. Yeah, actually I had some other work with I met some people. I had like a month of experiences after coming home, which are personal. Yeah, I worked on a Hare Krishna farm when I learned the Metallica Nothing Else Matters piano cover, which I have on my channel. And I had some more experiences with fun people, yeah, but these are personal, so I'm not going to talk about these. Like, I talked about what happened with that witch, how I fell in love with her, her lovers, and I don't consider it personal. What the fuck do I mean by I'm not going to talk about something because it's personal? That says it has to be something really brutally deep, yeah. But I was meant to go to work to this ex-classmate of mine in the forest, but he lost the money he had to buy my equipment, like chainsaw and stuff. Thank God, I still got 5%. Wow. I thought it will just turn off and the recording will be lost, because last time it like turned off I lost like hour of recording last week in the cold exposure video. So I was meant to go to work to that ex-classmate of mine with the forest work, but he lost the money which he had for my equipment gambling. Not even in a casino. He lost it on his phone. Gambling with some fucking respins or some shit. So yeah, he talked like he will have me again. He has money now, but I just turned him down because I found another job where I will be basically working in the forest near the place where I grew up, basically, and where I live. So I don't have to like move to him because it's far away. Not far, but farther away than where I work. Like basically, I lived in one village for 8 years, and there is this forest where I walked. I went on walks there for 8 years, and I'm going to work inside of that forest as someone who is like dividing work and counting cool wood we just cut down, and sometimes working with a chainsaw. It's going to be a fun job, yeah. I cannot believe it's actually over. I finished it. It's over. Is it actually over? Unequivocally, it's over. It's so goddamn over. I'm so done. It's over. So if you liked this story, then I don't even know how to connect the call to action. Like I have private community on school, which you might check out. It has bunch of courses and a lot of people who eat raw meat inside of the group. It has a bunch of stuff and it's like $3 a month, but I don't know how can I sell you to it. Like, do you want to be abused by women with horses? Then no. Do you want to stay away from women with horses? Then join my group. Or do you want to fucking go to Canary Islands? Join my group. I don't know. I absolutely don't know how could I sell you my community based on the content of like this video. Like, do you want to learn my full sales techniques to join my group? My god, I'm done. I don't even join it. You know, just give me a subscribe and wait for another video or a podcast which is about health, like raw meat or something. So then I can tell you, if you eat raw meat, then join my group. Wait for another video where I will tell you to check out my community in some better and more dignified manner, and then check out my community. So you don't have to do it now. My god. Eat raw meat, stay away from women with horses, and grow your hair out. This was fun. I cannot imagine anyone watching this far. Like, maybe one person. Like, it's incredibly funny to think that there is one person looking at a screen right now, looking at me, and like having listened to everything which I have said for the last few hours. Like, if you are looking at me on a screen right now, like, you having listened to everything which I said, like, why?
Reálně dočil, konec se mi postaví do cesty, kámo, prostě jako, reálně prostě o tom chrání, kámo, reálně prostě kdokoliv se pokouší schodit jako nějak můj cíl, tak prostě odchází s rukama přelámanýma na 4krát a narvanýma v prdeli. OK, prostě white boys 2025 when have white ass nigga going hard as fuck. Prostě white boys summer 2025. Let's go. Když nejseš křesťan a modlíš se k správným bohům, tak možná cokoliv.